All right. And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode number 88. And it's another glorious Sunday, and we are back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm extremely excited about our special guest, and we've got Sony skipping E3, more PlayStation 5 rumors, a discless Xbox console, and our Game Award predictions to discuss. So we're going to get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord whose steady and continued rise as a content creator has been an absolute pleasure to watch. Not only does this Lord consistently stay on top of the generation's news cycle, but he always breaks things down with fantastic technical acumen and a balanced viewpoint. Introducing the creator and host of the Madz Gaming YouTube channel and GamesTechnica.com, the IT engineer by day, YouTuber by night, and the Lord of Poland who continues to make his mark on the next generation. Making his debut into the realm of the Lord, my man, Lord Madz Gaming. How you doing, sir?
Oh, that's what I call an introduction, honestly. I wouldn't be able to, to actually come up with something like that. Honestly, I'm so glad I'm here. Obviously, great topics, great panel. One of the most entertaining and informative at the same time kind of podcasts I came across on YouTube. I love to watch you every day, guys. So, I enjoy it, and I'm so glad that I'm here today. So yeah, let's do it.
Much appreciated. I'm a huge fan of your content, man. Good to have you in the realm. We're gonna have some great topics to talk about, some tech to talk about. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, let's do it, man. So, of course, we have the four horsemen of gaming, the original lords of the realm here at the round table. We're down one lord.
Oh my God! I think that sounds like what? Addict! Man down!
One lord is down today. Unfortunately, Addict that called into the realm of work. So you got to do some OT today, but maybe we get him later on. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. But of course, we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience, and also the Sostradamus, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank. My man, Lord Sovereign, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm half asleep, as is customary, but I'm good. I got a flight tonight. I'm going to paradise, so I ain't mad at nothing.
Where we going? Where you going for the flight? What's going on?
I'm going home to motherland.
There we go.
There we go.
Puerto Ricano.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a couple of days,
No
spend
doubt.
time with the family, Thanksgiving, doing that. But
Mhm.
yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I'm doing good. We had a fantastic time, and I know you guys will elaborate at medieval times. Oh my glorious evening.
Glorious. Yes. A lot of debauchery.
Yeah, that was great. That was absolutely great. I thought it was going to be subpar,
Yes.
and that they can't tell how good it is or how bad it is, but everything was top notch. Like everything was top notch. I thought it was fantastic. We had a great time.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you there. As far as games, you still on your Red Dead stories?
Come on, man. You know that. That's the I didn't get too far this week. I didn't do much, but I do have a few anecdotes in my Red Dead recap. So this week I died a lot, man. A lot of because I guess that's what happens when you're the bounties in every county.
Mhm.
So people are aiming to murder me, and when you have a high bounty, like you're talking anywhere from like 7 to 10 bounty hunters at one time coming at you with dogs and everything. And the thing about it is that in this game, you always get a warning on your mini map that they're coming from a certain direction. You'll see like the outskirts of your mini map get red, right? But sometimes like it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like you could be in the middle of doing something and you won't know that they're coming forward. Sometimes I'll sit down at a camp, start crafting weapons, whatever, potions or whatever, and they'll be coming for you. You don't notice. They'll stop you in the middle of what you're doing and then jump you, and that by that time you're not gonna be done. Because if the dogs get you down and they out, you're dead. Like these guys, they come at you from all angles. So I died a lot. And then the second thing is that I met up with those white hooded superheroes and
You said superheroes, yo. You stupid.
and oh man, it was glorious. So I accidentally run to one of their in initiations in the middle of the night. And so they were around the fire, right? And they were, I guess, the one member they're initiating, whatever the initiation encompasses, like you have to light the cross on fire or whatever. I don't know if they were burning someone at the stake. I couldn't really tell that. That might be a thing. I don't know. So I lay back because I'm like, you know what? I want to see this play out, see what happens before I murder them. So I'm hanging out behind the tree. The dude that's being initiated sets fire to the cross and accidentally sets himself on fire.
Yeah, I was a little
burns himself to a crisp, right? So the other members start, they're like, oh, we're out of here. Oh, I guess they start leaving. And I'm waiting in the wings to oblige them dynamite and explosive rounds. So I murder all of them. save for the leader. So the leader sort of held back, so it was perfect. So he was sort of the last one that so rather than kill him with dynamite or explosive rounds, I hogtied him and then proceeded to put him on the back of my steed and and transport him to the tracks.
Wow.
Where I proceeded to wait for the morning train and had a glorious splat all over. So
you're savagery.
Yo, it is hilarious, that game. The things you could do in that game. And the funny thing is that when you hog tie on, you put them on. If they'll be arguing with you, like he'll be cursing at you, like and so you. So you can slap him so he can knock him out and shut him up.
Savagery by South.
Yeah. So I'm gonna miss now this coming week, but
yo, solve your mic a little bit. I don't know if you're going in and out or something.
Yeah, your mic is wilding.
Yeah, your mic's doing.
Is it?
Yeah.
The connection thing, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. See if you can drop in, drop back out, see if that'll fix it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, no doubt. And of course, we have the Incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports, who is a man of his convictions, demands nothing less than that premium experience, and is the leader of the Fraud Alert movement.
Ooh.
Beloved Lord King. How you doing, sir?
First and foremost, I would like to say happy birthday to a Lord that I mean, I didn't expect what medieval times were supposed to be. Like you see it, you see it like as a joke, and people have fun and they tease you, and they're like, "How you going to medieval times? Whatever, fool!" Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it beat your birthday last year with the we was dressed up or whatever, the gangster Muggsy Bowls. But this one will always have a special place. I mean, besides the horn and the meat and the feed us, and I'm not saying wenches, because a lot of people was on the timeline, being rude. Hey, that was rude. You're not supposed to. They
my guess.
Yeah, they maidens, sir. They are maidens. But it like Sovereign said, it was top notch, and for my man to have his birthday that day and to be there, and everybody rocking ILP, and the crowd, like they were looking like, who is these people? Like, what's going on here? they're into it, and they're not even part of the show. It was such a great thing, and I'm glad to build that memory with you. So salute and cheers to you. The horn will be drunk in your name.
You still got the execution of drink inside?
Oh no, that was gone. I had a couple of other drinks last night. I'm trying to work that off right now. Shout out to that black raspberry Ciroc. Hey,
Oh yeah, I saw. I could have picked one up. Yeah.
brother. Also, I would like to tell my daughter, Delilah, happy birthday.
Oh, happy
She's
birthday.
15 today.
Oh,
Delilah
wow.
Johnson. Yeah,
Mhm.
15. Well, you
Damn,
boy.
we're getting old. I remember when she was a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too.
Am I still wilding
You
out?
sound good right now.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound better.
Yes.
What have I been playing?
Mhm.
With my fraud self, I've been playing God of War 2. It's upteenth level, like really getting everything out of the game. Like, unlike Addict, which speed run games and doesn't do the minor minutia. I myself like to get a deep dive in a game and yank out every last nickel that they owe me.
Mhm.
And I've been just like grinding. I see how they set the game up. They set the game up that it's to put in those hours is to get those grinds to just level up certain end game material.
Mhm.
And it's random. A lot of that stuff is random drops. So you'll be there for hours
Mhm.
looking for a certain material. And when you give up looking for that certain material, you'll get it. So like plenty of times I've given up, but I've played Rise and Shine that's in Game Pass,
Okay.
which is a beautiful game. It's a beautiful shooter. And it's nice and it's funny and it plays with itself with the humor. What you should do is check it out. It's inside Game Pass if you have Game Pass. If you don't, remember Game Pass is $1
It's a buck.
for
Yeah.
the new people that's joining in.
Mhm.
Let's get those subscriptions up. Let's knock that PlayStation now back to yesterday.
Oh my.
But yeah, and it was funny. I don't want y'all to really, because you heard me just say I play on PlayStation as well. So don't sit here and run around with, oh, King, you're just an Xbox lover. Like, no, I actually don't really like the Switch that much. So I have new content.
We got a shout out Lord Vogelskrieg in the chat. He said, "Good morning, my lords and ladies. Hey, King, it's my birthday also, and happy born day to your daughter. So salute, happy born day.
Oh, man, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
man.
sir.
Scorpio season this.
Oh, y'all got to drink it up. Have a great time. Oh, and also, Lord Fraud,
Uh-oh.
the Bethesda lover. I'm not gonna go in on your game because your game went in on itself.
Wow.
Right? It actually folded its own evening. But how's that Spiral though? Because I ain't see you talking about that Fallout 76.
Yo, shout out to the internet, man. They had shout out to Clowns, man. Italian Clowns. He had some from Forgotten Quarters. He had some funny things of some of the glitches and stuff people were experiencing. Shout out to Alcoholic Cat. I had no idea it was the way it was. Like I didn't think it was that bad. So did you see it, Bob? Did anybody see what's been going on with Fallout 76?
It's just, I think what people feared about the game was that a lot of people, Fallout has always been a single player experience. Now they're putting it into multiplayer realm. But the thing about it is that they're counting on people wanting to play with each other in a game that they've never traditionally played with each other in. So it's like you have to alter your expectations for the experience.
Right.
And if that means that the game is a little wonkier and glitchier than you even expect from the single player game, that's a problem. If you don't find a lot of people in the game, that's sort of a problem. And the fact that there's no NPCs, there's no real NPCs in the game.
Nothing there. Yo, shout out to Bethesda for having the only game that was in beta form that came out the same way it went in beta form.
It's a fact. Eggman not gonna have this, man. We be going in on his baby right now.
I don't see him in the chat. He was there a second ago talking about Spiral. Where you at?
Lord Madz, did you get a chance to check out Fallout 76, or was it something that didn't interest you?
No, not really. I mean, like, to be honest, like, after the beta and stuff, I was like, I'm not into this. Like, I actually, like, to be fair, like, I love previous, Fallout games, like 3, New Vegas, and I actually enjoyed Fallout 4. Like, I actually played it on both Xbox and PC, to be honest with you, right? Like, twice. But no, Fallout 76 is not really for me because I'm more into, like, story-driven games rather than just like multiplayer. I mean I like multiplayer games, but it's more to do with let's I like to play, some shooter and that kind of stuff rather than online kind of RPG games. Like I even like the Morrowind online and stuff. I tried it for a bit, but
just wasn't for you.
Not my cup of tea, basically.
Right.
So I actually skipped like Fallout 76 totally. And when I saw that it
threw it in the bushes.
yeah, throw it in the bushes. And when I saw that it's running at 12 frames per second on Xbox One X, I was like, no, man, no, I can't do it.
That wasn't next gen for Lord Madz.
Well, I heard they got 2 more frames on that. I mean, 3 more frames on it, so they got it up to 15.
Hey, you know what that may be. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but like Sea of Thieves on PC has actually a 15 frames per second option, right?
Wow.
So maybe they did the same with Fallout 76. I don't know.
Here's a toggle switch inside. They hit the switch.
Toaster option
to throttle the frame rate. They got a frame rate throttle.
Oh my God, y'all savages. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito. Spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. First off, amazing birthday weekend. Truly want to thank all the Lords who were able to come out and attend the great feast, the royal tournament. We had too much fun, like King said, and Lord Sov said, I didn't expect it to be that good, to be honest with you. I came in with very low expectations, and like King said, man, we had a ball. Drinks were great. King was trying to get me to bend the knee to the queen. It was not happening.
Oh, you know something? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, don't ever go there with me. I'm taking my son there in January. We're going in January for his birthday. But if I knew, because they got little things, and please read the sheet to stuff that you can do, some weirdo things that you can do in there. Because it's about the highest dollar in that place. Your coin in that realm.
Okay? The Iron Bank and the palm greasing is in effect.
I didn't know. I would have geared up for this. I would have literally put away at least $2,000 for this. Because to have LordCognito on his knees, because they put you on, they got a segment when you walk in the door to subjugate you on your day. In front of the queen, get on your knees.
I mean, to be fair, you're being knighted, so you're being
subjugated. The way they do it, they put a nice little pillow down there for your knees.
I was like, why is there a bend the knee segment here when you come in? Like, what is
my God.
Yeah,
and the crowd
I was dreading because at that moment, people are gathering up and knighting people, everyone's bending their knee or whatever. And at that moment, you can run to the back and I guess pay for someone to
get him on his knees.
And I was like, oh man. So I'm looking at them like, y'all better not. Go.
I couldn't because I was doing a live stream and I was like, I gotta make it to the bank to pay for his knee and I got to do this. But they had swords there. Yeah. Listen, you can literally the drink game,
Woo.
Don't go in there thinking you're getting soda for $5. Soda for you just heard what I just said. No soda for $5. No soda for $5. The minimum drink in there is $15. All right, straight up. So just know that part right there. If you plan to get saucy before you go. Do it like Cable Guy and bring your own.
There's differences in that spot. There's the Lord of this is definitely a Lord space. It's not a Lord of the common folk.
No, not down with the peasants.
Yeah, it's not the commons in here.
No, I tried to get LordCognito to purchase the horn.
The horn. I should have purchased it. But what it is, I got caught up. They had a drink called the Executioner, and I was just like, this.
Yeah, that was.
Remember, I already had my goblet. Shout out to Lord Kaibatsu. So I was just, pouring up the goblet, getting loose. You know what I'm saying? Then we got in there. Salute to the black and white knight, to the true knight of the realm.
The hell with that
Dreamcast guy. That was Dreamcast.
The hell with that knight. That guy looked just like Dreamcast guy.
And that was my dude. He fought valiantly for the realm. He won the tournament. He fought for me.
It was fixed. It was jobbed. He jobbed his way to the top. I don't know what's going on. The night that I chose Bed at Night, he was definitely the man. If you've seen the pictures, I took a picture with Bed at Night. I told him he's the real winner. I even told him when I'm standing. I understand they told you to take the job. I understand. Don't worry about that. You the real knight of the realm. To hell with these other dudes.
Well, shout out to them though. The jousting was kind of lit. Like
it was.
Like I will say this, like Soft, like they are very skilled in there. Like
what they like, you can't go in there and be like, yeah, I want a job. Like no, it's not happening. Like you have to have training.
Yeah, man, that is what's up.
I wanted to see somebody mess up.
Yeah, I was waiting for that too. Like, Squire and stuff, and then they was doing the horse tricks. And shout out to the dude who had like the raven flying across.
Oh, that dude.
That was crazy. How do you train an eagle or a raven to do this?
No, it wasn't a raven. It was a hawk. He had a hawk.
Okay.
And because raven is a giant crow. So that's definitely not going on, and he's not training those guys. And it was no eagles. I was like, yo, how he's not pooping on people? Because I thought birds can control their bowel movements, and this dude was flying through the crowd. I was like, hey, all right now. Okay, hey, and he's just swooping past people, and then the guy snatches the bird out the air. I'm like, yo,
it was crazy. And the control he had it swooping every section of the whole castle, and like going over fans. Like I don't know how this man. I don't know how you train that. Like that was amazing. And,
shout out to Merlin.
Yeah,
the man Merlin.
Salute. I think the queen was mad at us because we kept taking pictures.
Man, the hell with the queen. Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you straight up. When we walked in a place, you know how when you see somebody, you're like, oh, my man, I saw him from across the room, and I said, my man is definitely about all his medieval times. I'm taking a picture with him. And it was like, do you want to take a picture with the queen? They kept trying to push me. I was like, no, I don't care about that queen, man. I said, but your man Merlin over there, though, use the man. He was like, you sure you don't want to take? No, I don't care about her. I care about Merlin, though. You that dude. Let's go, Merlin.
Yeah, no. You gonna say something? Are you good?
No. I'm good, man. I'm in there for all that.
Shout out to the Lords for making it. This is definitely will be a birthday to remember. We were the fools of the party in there. Had way too much fun, and I definitely will never forget this one. So salute to the Lord.
Oh, kids are bloodthirsty. Be careful for children.
Yeah, kids want blood in there. That's crazy. So other than that,
that's right. They were like, kill him.
Like they acting like it's a Spartacus to the death, and we like, yo, it's a reenactment. No,
kill him.
They had sections where the knight would win, and then they asked the queen if they want to murder them. The kids are like, murder them. I'm like, oh, it's crazy. Shout out to the thirsty kids at medieval times.
Real quick, man. Shout out to our chat and shout out to our YouTube commenters. Like any show, you have your lovers and you have your haters. And last week we had somebody, and I'm sure he's a lover hater. He hates for the sake of hating, and he got out there and made some disparaging comments about our show, and you guys promptly jumped to the rescue. You guys really jumped in and be like, well, hold up, get out of here.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to our YouTube comment chats because we definitely had in there. Someone was very upset, and y'all just gave him the bid. I didn't even have to respond. Like I looked and they bombed him. I was like,
I gotta check that out. Oh my god!
What you say?
87 comments chat. Y'all was lit.
But you gotta love. So thank you for listening and hating us. Please continue to do so.
Here. It's beautiful. So man, that's pretty much it, man. Just waiting for that a little bit of Destiny. And what you are waiting for the PC rig should be one more week, and that'll be it. So now that we've gotten into what the Lords have been playing this week, I want to start off with Lord Madz. His video game system history, being a gamer in Poland, his career in IT, and his journey into creating the extremely informative Madz Gaming YouTube channel. So, Lord Madz, let's start from the beginning. What were like some of the first video game systems you had, and what got you into gaming?
Well, I mean, like, I think that the first console I ever like played on was the Atari 2600. But I must have been like 6 or 7 years old or something. And the thing is, like, you need to be aware that, you know, back then, I mean, Poland was a communist country, right? So, you know, it was really difficult to get, like, you know, like, that was a premium device, right? It was not something that you could get and grab from the, you know, store shelf and stuff. To be honest with you, back then there was nothing on the store shelves in Poland, right? Honestly, right? But let's not get into this. But the thing, that was the first thing. I actually had a chance to play it at my uncle's neighbor, because back then I actually visited them quite often, and I think like the two games I remember was River Ride, and I think Pong, if I'm not mistaken. So
the game too.
Yeah. So these two, but like, as I said, like, I played it a couple of times, so that was the first time I got exposed to like gaming, to be honest with you, right? But then when I got a little bit older, and I think I must have been like in second grade or something. Well, my colleagues from school actually, you know, started getting those computers, because like consoles back then here in Poland were not really popular. If anything, yeah, I mean, I think that the part of the reason behind that was the fact that there was nothing really in Poland, as in, like, you couldn't get, like, you know, too much of electronics and stuff, right? So like consoles were not popular. If I really remember, my first couple of years of like gaming was literally on computers, right? I'm talking about computers like Commodore 64, like Sinclair ZX 81 or something, I think. My very first computer, very first gaming system at all was actually Commodore 64, right? So nice. 8-bit computer. I remember my colleagues having Atari 65 XE and that kind of stuff. So these were like basically 8-bit computers, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't really exposed to consoles almost at all. So, you know, like consoles like Nintendo Entertainment System or like Sega or something. I mean, that was something very, you know, I didn't know that these kind of systems actually exist, right?
Gotcha.
And the thing is, like, so I had a Commodore 64, so I had that like for a year, maybe two. Then I actually moved on to Amiga 500.
The Amiga, wow.
Yeah, these were very popular over here.
Huge.
Yeah, and, you know, amazing machine. So, and the thing is, like, it kind of like it made me to some degree, you know, these computers, because the fact that I had computers, I actually not only gamed on it, I also, you know, tried. I tried a little bit of basic programming and that kind of stuff, and I think that's the way I kind of got into IT and stuff later on in my life. Because I got exposed to like technology and stuff, not only gaming, but let's face it, 90% of my time on Commodore 64 and any computer I had was basically gaming, right? I mean, I told my parents, actually, I need this computer for education, right? I will need it for, And yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know. I would have to go back to my father and ask him whether he believed me or not. But anyway, I guess it worked because they bought it. They bought my computer, and then obviously, you know, a
quick question, because you made like what I'm noticing with the difference is that, you know, from a computer standpoint, it didn't seem. It seemed like consoles wasn't as prevalent. So in your case, like your friends didn't have consoles. Did everyone kind of have Commodore 64 around you, Amiga around you? Was that kind of like the norm for your friends?
Yes. I mean, that was the thing here in Poland, because like, you know, you could get. Actually, I'm not entirely sure why that happened. Maybe because of the fact that it was actually easier to kind of to persuade somebody to buy a computer, because you could use it for something else other than gaming. And, you know, well, people were rather poor here in Poland back then, right? So we didn't really had a lot of money. So that kind of like, entertainment systems, right? Like computers were something that, Xbox One X is a premium console, right? But like Commodore 64 or Atari 65 XE back then was like super premium product. So, that's why I got exposed.
It's
like,
he has money. He has the computer. Get him.
Honestly, yeah, that was the case. Really. Nice. And the thing is, like, on top of that, around the same time, obviously, I was exposed to like games in, I wouldn't even call it like arcade saloons or anything like that, because you probably guys had like a proper shops where proper like places where you could like go and play these video games and stuff. We back then we had like basically that wasn't even a proper gaming places. Like somebody actually made it.
What was the first arcade machine that you saw in Poland? Like how because. The reason why I say this is because the shops that we had around where we in New York, very randomly you would see in a grocery store.
You stole my point.
Yeah, an arcade machine, just a pop up in the grocery store. It has no business being there, but you walk in, you're like, oh my God, they got Donkey Kong. Hello, like and you put your money inside. So what was the first arcade machine that you just like stumbled across in some part of Poland that you had to make it your business to get in there and to drop your quarters inside to that arcade machine that actually brought you back to it?
Good question.
I think that was Galaxy. I'm not sure if that was 1 or 2 or something like that, but that was Galaxy for sure. And I actually spent quite a lot of money on that machine. Playing on that machine.
Where was it? Because you said they weren't like dedicated arcade, right, so to speak. So like, was it like a local store or?
Well, that's the thing. Like back then, it was more of a like somebody like when you have those. Barracks or something where like you've got like building guys like moving from one place to the other after when they working on some construction stuff. So you've got those like barracks where they keep their clothes and stuff. So we had similar kind of thing like somewhere at the outskirts of the city, and this guy, dodgy guy, right, had a couple of arcade like machines. We would actually go and everything was dodgy back then. If my mom would know that, if she knew that I was going there like back then, she would never allow me to go there.
Her agent was around criminals. He's like, excuse me, sir. I'm just here to play the video games. You can do your murdering over there. Thank you.
We've been in many a dingy arcade in our life.
Very suspect locations.
Yeah. So, well, in that case, we had the same, right?
Yes. Shout out to the criminals.
Yeah. So, So around that time, I got Commodore 64. Then I kind of moved to Amiga 500. After a while, I got into PC. And actually, I must have been a teenager back then. I actually even I got into it to the degree that I actually started building my own PCs and stuff and selling that for money. That was pretty cool because I actually loved it. So maybe that's why I still have this kind of, because people sometimes ask me, oh, Madz, why do you like Xbox? I mean, it has no games, right? Everything is on PC and stuff. But the thing is for so many years, I was into PC gaming and computers and that kind of stuff. And the thing is, with Xbox, is it offers me options. I love options, right? Because you've got so much more flexibility on computers and stuff. So when you've got a console, I love consoles right now because I'm of these guys that actually like to sit with a controller rather than mouse and keyboard. But the thing is, Xbox actually offers me a lot of options as well, right? So I actually like that. Now it's not that It's not like I'll be bashing other console stuff. I've got PlayStation 4 Pro as well.
Right.
But like, this kind of history, I guess, with PCs and computers, from my childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of forwarded my kind of preference towards PCs and and that kind of stuff. And actually, I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those Xbox guys that actually love the fact that Microsoft is actually trying to build this one huge platform where you can play everywhere, anywhere, no matter whether that's PC or Xbox. I love it. I was, I remember when people actually were kind of complaining like 2 or 3 years ago, when Microsoft started announcing those things that, this game is going to be on PC, this is going to be play anywhere. I was like, really? Really? And people were like, no way.
Because that's your pedigree, right? That's where you're from. So it makes you feel more comfortable. I got a question, right? Being that you said that, Microsoft and stuff like that, did you purchase the original Xbox?
The first one, I had one. Yeah.
All right.
It was. You know what? I love this machine. Actually, I actually sold it because like back then I didn't really had a lot of money, so I couldn't like keep my console, because in order to buy another one, I had to trade in, right? But like, the thing is, like, the thing about Xbox or OG Xbox is that it's the best console and PC at the same time. You can mod it. You can actually do so much stuff on it right now. It's an ultimate emulation machine right now. I mean, there's a lot of mods on it and stuff like, and there was a lot of mods back then as well, right?
Right.
So I actually, so I pretty much owned all Xboxes, like, really.
That's interesting, man. I want to ask you another question in reference to like the gaming scene in Poland. So one thing I want to ask you, you broke down some differences, but I wanted to also ask, like, what about like conventions and trade shows? Like, obviously, for us in the States, we have like an E3 and stuff like that. Now, is Gamescom, what was that, like, too far for you? Was there anything Polish centric that you guys can go to like check out whatever the latest consoles or technology was coming?
I mean, we can now, but back then we had nothing like that, right? I mean, at least like beginning of, early 90s, there was nothing like that.
Right.
I mean, we had some shows, but, the thing is, like, not sure if you're aware, but like on computers, you had that, it was called like demo scenes, right?
Yes.
So like you had a bunch of people not making games, but they were actually coding, they were creating graphics and music for those demos, right? And these demos were basically like a mixture of graphics, animation, music, and sometimes text, right? Basically, it's like making a trailer or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So guys were basically making that kind of stuff, and basically, we had these events back then where people were like, meeting up and sharing these demos and stuff, and they had some contests, there was a winner and that kind of stuff, right? So, but we never had like proper gaming events. Well, at least up to some point, right? But there's also one more very important thing, like completely different, that's a big difference between like Poland back then and now, is that, right now everything is like, everything is regulated and stuff, right? Back then, it was completely different in a sense that there was no legislation, right? Piracy was a thing, and nobody had an issue with it.
You know about that.
And the thing is, like, I remember when I actually had my computers and stuff. I was actually going to like a store with electronics, like all kinds of electronics shop, and they had those cassettes, right? And on a cassette, you had like 15 games at least, right? So these were like collections of the best Commodore 64 games, for example, right? And it was all piracy, right? But the thing is, it wasn't illegal because it was not regulated back then, right? Copyright, there was not such thing as copyrights back then in Poland, right?
Okay.
So, we were like swapping those cassettes. We were like, copying them from one cassette to the other and stuff. That was a normal thing. Now, obviously, not right now. Everything is regulated. I'm talking about like, because I'm nearly 39 years old right now, right? So back that was like 25, 30 years ago, right?
Mhm.
So that was the way we were getting games, like very cheap, and I guess that it kind of saved us in a sense that that was the only way we could actually play games. Because I tell you, if we were to play like, I don't know how much games did cost like back then, right, in the States, $40, $30.
Oh man, I mean,
No,
No.
no.
Back then, you're talking about $90 games easily.
Oh Jesus Christ! Like nobody would buy a game here in Poland because like it's I would have to double check, but that's probably a couple of months, kind of like somebody's salary, right? So
yeah.
nobody would afford it back then.
So in a
So
way,
yeah,
that really kind of helped you because you were able to experience multiple games, at once
yeah,
that normally you might not have, had access to. So
yeah,
you got like a plethora of stuff at one time, which is pretty cool.
And I actually, it was a blessing and a curse at the same time, to be honest with you, because like back then when I got this cassette with 15 games, I was like, okay, so which one do I try? Which one do I try? And the thing is, like after a while, I got bored because I didn't really get into any of these games like properly. And I skipped over them. I tried some of them, and then somebody brought me another cassette with another 15 games.
Let me tell
And
you.
I was like, Jesus Christ! And sometimes actually, I still have this kind of tendency to like, especially with Game Pass, like you log into Game Pass, we've got like 200 games. Like, oh damn, what do I play, right? And okay, so I'll try this one. Okay, so 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, another one. And so sometimes it's I think it must have like
sometimes it has
stayed with
a negative effect because I know where you're going, Mark, because it's funny you say that because in New York, shout out to Sav who's assisting us with access of certain things.
Why you gotta shout me out
My
for that?
man,
I gotta shout out to
Sovereign, the burner.
and what would happen is like Sav would hook us up and we'd have a plethora of games of the system. The rules of the engagement. They all that's
I
done.
have
Right?
no idea what you're talking about.
Like let's say in this hypothetical world where Sovereign was that dude, and
that dude. Yeah.
he had a booklet of what did you want to play now. He was the original Game Pass. Shout out to real Game Pass.
So you just subscribe to him.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, the subscription fee was him.
Monthly donation. So what happened was it was like you said, I would have these book of CDs of these games, and it was just like you get overwhelmed because you're like, all right, I'm gonna try this, let me try that, and then you end up not finishing anything.
Yeah.
You just have this plethora of games, and I've noticed that unfortunately with the piracy scene, I that was the part I didn't like it because you did have everything, but I really never finished anything, and that's the thing I didn't like about it. But guys, you were saying?
No, it's true. I think once you have everything, you don't appreciate anything about the game. Like you'll play it for an hour and put it down and never play it again.
Yeah,
I've come to the realization that I love console launches for one reason and one reason only. The fresh start that you get to start a new stack, that you actually play these games. Like, because when the new Xbox came out and Rise came out, I played Rise to the end. I played Dead Rising to the end. I played all these games to the end. And, you're sitting at the one point where you're like, give me more. And then I don't know what happens, but somewhere in the middle of that cycle, when the library is growing, you become overwhelmed. And you have so many games that you don't really get a chance to play anything. And I think this Game Pass and other subscription services is going to remove that from you of that newness of the new games, because the backlog, your backlog is going to travel with you from now on, guys. Like, it's literally going to go
there's
to the
no
next
cutoff point on Xbox. That's for sure.
That's it. So I guess we're going to have to find that newness in hardware. That's what I'm just saying, because I just thought about it right now and I said, wow, I just watched that one little part of me die because I like when I got the new PlayStation, the new games right there, and I finished them to the end. Like now, I don't get a chance to do that. Like you got some stuff. Let me try this real quick. All right, and move on. Hopefully, it's grabs my attention. So yeah.
Yeah, so definitely like Lord Madz, I definitely hear where you're coming from with that. So that I would say that was during the Xbox era. Now when you move up now during the I'm assuming the 360 era, did you have a PlayStation at that point, or you still?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When PlayStation launched, 90s, 95, 96.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was around the time when all these things got finally dealt with. I mean, like piracy and stuff. I would have to double check the actual dates and stuff. But obviously, people got so used to everything and stuff. The piracy was still a thing for many years after. But at least that was like a beginning of like a legal gaming market and stuff. And this is actually when I think Sony was the first actually, because Sony was present in Poland already, right, for many years, because they were like selling all kinds of electronics, right, like TVs, VCRs and what have you. Yeah, so it was actually easier for them because they had distribution kind of points already. So they started obviously pushing PlayStation, and this was the first time when actually they the publicity of it started in the Polish gaming magazines and that kind of stuff. So I actually and to be honest with you, the first time when I actually got into console gaming was with PlayStation, the original PlayStation 1. I remember I was so new to the actual consoles and stuff that I bought PlayStation without the memory card, and I got I got Final Fantasy VII, right?
Did you never turn that machine off?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, so I played for a couple of hours and stuff. The first time I liked it and stuff, so I turned it off, right? And thinking that that it's probably going to save somewhere, because I was actually on PC. That's a normal thing, right? And obviously I had to start all over again. So obviously then, for a couple of days I was playing and fooling around, knowing that I can save the game. So I obviously finally got the memory cards and stuff, but it was funny. But I also had because when I got PlayStation, I got interested in those machines. I started to reading about it. I think that was around the time when actually internet was starting being a thing back then. It was 1996, 7, 8, whatever, right? So I actually was looking some information on the games and consoles. So I got exposed to a Sega Saturn for a while.
I was loving you, man.
Yeah, I played. Yeah, I had it. I had it for a couple of months. But the problem is that there was no official distribution of this console in games. So the games was very difficult to come by, right? So I had to sell it because I couldn't afford to own a system that I wouldn't get any games for, right? So I stayed with PlayStation, and then obviously I moved. Actually, funny enough, Dreamcast dropped, right? The thing is, I remember I was because obviously it was still difficult to get some of these games even for PlayStation back then. It must have been 1999 or 2000,
right?
And then obviously the second Dreamcast.
Everything, was you ordering? How were you getting access? Were you trying to order the game? Did you have a spot?
Basically, you had certain individuals. I wouldn't even call them
Here we go.
So these were basically people with connections and whatever, maybe, I don't know, but they had access to those games and stuff. And what I did was that I had some couple of games, and I would actually swap. So with some extra charge and stuff, right? So once I beat a game, I went. I was I had to go to this guy, and he showed me a couple of games and stuff. So I would give him 20 zlotys or something, so I could swap the games, right? So leave my old game and take another one. And one day I actually went to this guy, right, to find some new games and stuff. And he had one of the first Dreamcasts around, and he was actually playing MSR, so that's Metropolitan Street Racer.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, I love that.
When I saw this game, I was like, "What?" That was, actually, this is something that I'm missing right now. When you actually see a new game, hey, these games actually look stunning and great, but you don't have this kind of like wow effect anymore, like back in the days when you actually like. It's not the same level because like obviously the like as per even digital foundry videos, like the actual technology is slowing down a little bit, right?
I would agree.
Yeah, actually hitting this wall right now.
The ceiling.
Yeah, and back then it was like it was revolution after revolution after revolution, right?
Yes.
And like when I actually saw this game, but like first time I was like, damn, that's wow, what a graphics it is, right? So I had to get one, right? So I sold my PlayStation. No regrets.
Did you sell it to that same guy that you were dealing with?
I don't remember, but I think I did because like later on. I'm pretty sure that
he was the Polish Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
Hustle on the corner from that one. I like
it. So I went to this guy, obviously got a Dreamcast, and I was like, okay, so I didn't really know much about Sega other than a couple of games on Saturn back then, right? And he was like, oh, okay. So he showed me Shenmue, and he said like, this is a game that you must play on Dreamcast, and I did. I was amazed.
He was a game drug pusher.
You know what? Yeah, he was.
I want you to try this, baby. Oh, some of this Shenmue, baby.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but where was? Paint the picture. Where? Give me the location. Like, was this? How did this meeting happen?
Actually, at the very beginning, that was at his own house, right?
Right.
So his own flat. And
hey, kid, you want to come up to my house? I got some game.
Listen, I have been in many a shiesty apartment modding systems. You go in there, and Kaibatsu will know we're sitting there.
We're in trouble with that too.
Yeah, we're waiting for our consoles to be prepared, and and weed provider comes in with the and we're like, wait a minute, we don't need to be here right now.
Listen, don't feel bad because the Lord's, like I said, Lord Kabatsu, he put me in some situations.
That dude literally had me in Queens on a street corner waiting for this rotund individual to come outside. Like I went, knocked on the door, the rotund individual came out, peeked, saw me, stuck his hand out. I put my system in his hand. He closes the door and says from behind the door, after he has my system, 1 hour. What? 1 hour.
The system comes back, you get it, it's modded. It was the funniest exchange. That's what showed you, like, our love of games, the foolishness, the things we were willing
the danger you put yourself in.
You put yourself, like, people we don't even know, and we out here, hustling games.
Yeah, it's completely different. Right now, all you have to do is just press the button, the game downloads, right? But back then,
define that.
Look at these stories are fantastic.
Yeah. So I got the Dreamcast, and so I couple of great games. Obviously, was Shenmue 1 and 2. I finished both of them. Virtua Fighter. I spent a lot of time with it. Soul Calibur, obviously.
Oh, how beautiful!
Yeah, one of the best games. And one of the most beautiful games on that system back then. Dead or Alive as well. I used to be more into like fighting games. I'm not anymore right now, but like back then, I was actually playing quite a lot of them. Like Sonic Adventures, a couple like Sega Rally, obviously. These games. So I still I remember the, Berserk. I think that was a great game on Sega.
Berserk,
yeah, exactly. That was a good game as well. So, but obviously, Dreamcast didn't last long because PlayStation 2 came out.
Smash the bits.
And you know what? And that was an interesting thing about PlayStation, because like back then Poland was getting okay because we were not a communist country anymore, but we were not in European Union yet, right? So the actual taxes and those border payments and that kind of stuff, that was killing us in terms of like getting any electronics to Poland, right? So I remember, like, to get a PlayStation 2, you had to sell a very good specs PC, right?
Wow.
And I actually did it, right? I sold my...
Wait, that was the exchange rate back then?
I don't remember, but like, honestly, the thing is, like, I remember, like, it must have been like at least like twice I had to pay like double price, like, of the actual retail price, right?
Wow.
It was so expensive because these consoles were coming to Poland from like Germany or France or something, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so these were very, very because, like, Sony Poland back then was just starting up with this, right? So you still had a lot of these dodgy guys, right? Like they were getting those consoles for us and stuff, right? Because the distribution kind of these consoles was not great.
Right.
So it was funny, right? I mean, it wasn't funny because, like, I was broke basically, right?
The Polish mafia was in his wallet.
You got to put that money up. You knew the exchange rate was high.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee is all over the place.
I love it. These are the stories of true hardcore gamers.
Yeah,
Talking about this. Continue.
Yeah, that was a hassle, but yeah, I love PlayStation 2, and actually that's one of my favorites, favorite consoles ever, to be honest with you, right? I mean, it's like so many great games, like,
absolutely
different. Like I got exposed to Japanese RPGs on PlayStation, but obviously then when I saw the Final Fantasy X, I was like, damn, that game looks fire, right? So, like, obviously, Gran Turismo 3, one of the best racers, and I think that's my favorite Gran Turismo ever. I spent so many hours on that game. I guess after a while, obviously Xbox came out, and I was like on the fence with Xbox. But hey, I'm a graphics whore, so when I saw those games,
you sound like King now.
Hell yeah, he saw that Halo and that flashlight turned on. He said, "Oh, excuse me, one please."
Yeah. And I actually, funny enough, I actually got a modded Xbox, and I played Ninja Gaiden and stuff. And my whole family knew that I was playing Ninja Gaiden because it was difficult as hell, and I was screaming, I was throwing all kinds of stuff, and but I finished it. I did it, right? So a lot of great games obviously on Xbox, and that's the way I the whole adventure with Xbox started. But to be honest with, like, ever since I always owned PC, some form of PC, because that might have been a laptop or whatever, right? Not always a gaming PC,
right?
So back then it was more of a gaming, like a laptop or whatever. And obviously, all these consoles, as in, like, Sega was not there anymore because obviously they went bankrupt pretty much. And I had PlayStations, Xbox 360s, and now Xbox One and Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro. So, I mean, I never been a big Nintendo guy, but I did own a Nintendo GameCube, and I actually,
cool.
I still remember playing Zelda, the one on the water. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I like that one. The Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. I actually beat that game. I played a little bit of Mario Kart. What else was there interesting?
Some access.
I'm not sure if you remember this horror game.
Which one?
That was like, playing with you a little bit. Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness. Oh,
Oh,
course.
yeah.
That was great. Yeah, that was a great game as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I had a little bit fun with the Nintendo, but for the most part, I was really more of a Xbox and PlayStation guy rather than Nintendo.
PlayStation, PC. I got it. So I just want to bring this up now, just round it in and bring it forward to where you are now. And like, how did you get into the creation of the Madz Gaming channel? Like, how did that now? Was it just a natural progression because of your love of games, and it just made you kind of gravitate towards YouTube?
You know what? It was funny because like when during PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 era, I was not even on YouTube. Like I wasn't even I was actually checking YouTube just for like music and stuff, right? I never followed anyone. I never knew that there's somebody on YouTube talking about gaming. To be honest with you, if I knew back then, I would probably follow somebody as well. But like obviously then when Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out, I started like obviously Googling stuff, and maybe that was a new thing that Google actually was promoting YouTube videos as well. But like I actually came across a couple of YouTube channels talking about gaming, right? Mostly Xbox because I owned Xbox One like pretty much almost day one, and I didn't buy PlayStation 4 up until like Uncharted 4 release, right? So I was mainly looking for information on Xbox One and stuff. And funny enough, there was a lot of like I came across a lot of technical channels, like more talking about power of DirectX 12 and stuff, and that kind of
stuff. Conversations, yes,
yeah, and so I was listening to those YouTubers, and there was a couple of them, and obviously I was like, you know what, it must be fun to like sit down and talk about those games and stuff. Let me try it, right?
Okay.
And the thing is, like, I made a video. It took me like a couple of weeks to figure out how to do it, actually, because I was like, I was doing this for fun.
Yeah.
And so I think I like the first video I made like on the phone or whatever, right? And made the video, dropped it on YouTube. Nobody watched it for like 3 weeks and stuff. So I left it. So I left it, right? Because I knew nothing about SEO optimizations and that kind of stuff, tags. I didn't know. I knew nothing about it. So I think after a couple of months ago, like by mistake or whatever, right? By coincidence, I actually opened up my YouTube channel again, and I was like, maybe I make another video, right? And that kind of like I made one. Somebody watched it, and I was like, maybe I make another one. And that's the way it started, right?
Fever, let's go.
Yeah, and I kind of like liked it. My quality, of videos was terrible, but I was having fun. And when I actually started it, and I saw that I've got interaction from people, and people were saying, "Oh, nice video, man," and stuff, right? It was like, hey, it's worth it. It's fun.
Absolutely.
And that's how it started. And after a while, because like for some time, actually I had some issues with my YouTube channel as well, because I was doing things wrong, and what I think my first channel was actually shut down by YouTube.
Oh wow!
So I made another one,
you bring some of that Polish flavor. It's like too spicy.
Yeah, so I think that's how it started. And then the thing is, like, it was actually funny because when my first YouTube channel was shut down, I still had like copies of my previous videos.
Yeah.
So what I did, I started a new one, and I just dropped all those videos at once, right? I had like 10 or 15, and actually it actually I had quite a bit of traction with those videos, because like when you as just like we talked just before the show, when you actually make a lot of videos, the YouTube love it, right? When you feed YouTube, YouTube gives you back, those viewers and stuff, right? Because they promote your videos. And that's how it started, right?
I'm just reading the chat. YouTube knew your dark past.
Yeah, you never know. Well, apparently Google knows everything about you, right?
Never mind that Jonathan B character.
Yo, Jonathan been lighting it up. I just happened to just see that one thing because listen, he said earlier that you had to have the soundtrack to playing in the background to his story, and it is he has been so engaged with you right now. You have no idea.
Funny joke. Continue. Or the new YouTube channel that you had to create.
Yeah. So obviously, the channel I then created is the one that I have right now, Madz Gaming channel. Actually, it was called differently. I think it was like MD Woods, whatever, right? But I changed it later on.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like rolls really. I love talk about more technical side of gaming, to be honest with you. Sometimes I make a review of games. Sometimes I talk about games, what I think about the game. But 19% of my content is about obviously more technical, resolutions, frame rate, specs. I love rumors and leaks, and the thing is, I'm trying to mix it up with PC a little bit because the thing with these consoles is that all things kind of starts on PC, all the architecture and stuff. So even with those new upcoming consoles, a lot of stuff is out there. We we can pretty much predict what may happen with those consoles, right?
Absolutely.
So it's back then when they were making those consoles and they were going with complete different companies like Toshiba or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were making CPUs, GPUs for those consoles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But right now you've got AMD, Intel, Nvidia, and AMD. AMD that are making those parts for those PCs and consoles, and there's nobody else right now.
Exactly. So it basically mirrors it. So like you said, you can kind of predict based on what's going on in PC. And I do agree with you. And I wanted to shout you out as far as your growth on the channel, because I definitely see tremendous growth, especially, like I said, your daily tech videos, breaking down the latest rumors, what could be true, what couldn't be true. And I know the PS5 stuff, we'll get into that later on with the topic. But no, I really want to thank you because you've been doing a fantastic job with that. You've been killing it with the specs and whether either proving or debunking certain things, and that's great to see, man. So it's good to see the growth, man. Seeing you keep doing it. So that's cool. So
I'll keep pushing.
Keep pushing, man. Don't worry about no channel shutdowns. We got you.
Thanks a lot.
So I want to get into the question that we always ask every guest here at the round table. So I need, Lord Madz, your top 5 game franchises of all time.
Oh, that's going to be difficult.
Let's go.
Okay. Obviously, one of my favorites one, and not necessarily because I still love them, but some of these franchises still are dear to me because what I went through with them, right? Through Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Even though I still haven't played Final Fantasy 15 because I kind of I'm still on the fence. But previous games and stuff, I love them. I was always waiting for another one, especially during the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 era.
Absolutely. 7 without the memory card. So
exactly. Yeah. So that's one. Then Gran Turismo, probably. I spend a lot of time with this franchise as well.
Turismo.
Even though I'm more of a Forza fan right now.
True, but you can't take away the history of Gran Turismo.
Forza is more appealing to me right now, and they actually making stuff. Although GT Sport is not that bad anymore, right? I play it, and it's good now, right? But back then, what they did with this franchise, like on PlayStation and then PlayStation 2, both in terms of like simulation, physics, and graphics. They were like the first to do stuff, right? They are not there anymore, but hey, I hope that's going to change.
So we got two.
So that's two. What else? Oh, that's difficult, honestly.
Should I include Shenmue with that?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this one. It's I'm actually looking forward to
Shenmue that you saw.
Yeah, I was so happy when I heard that they actually making another one.
Yes.
So I mean, I guess Shenmue is going to be another one. Now, Halo, no doubt about it. I love Halo. I love Halo. So that's another one. And I want to say Mass Effect because I love this franchise.
Love Mass Effect.
I love it. And even though Andromeda wasn't really the best, I still enjoyed it. I did it. And, I know that people, give a lot of crap for this game, but like, I enjoy it. But obviously the original trilogy is great. But to be honest with like, these are like 5 that kind of like came to my mind right now. I probably could sit down and find another one.
We always do this. We give people the option that when they do come back, you have an option to revise it if you forgot it. So we'll take that 5 for now. Strong list, Lord Madz, tremendous history. We got a lot of show to get into, man. But yo, that was fantastic, man. It was great stuff. I can listen to those stories all day.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. Honestly.
I can imagine. I already know you got more.
To push the T of Poland. Hello.
He said the pusher. So let's get into the show. Last week's poll results are in, and the people have spoken to the question. Now that the dust has settled from XO18, in your opinion, did the Inside Xbox Fan Fest show live up to expectation? The winner at 54% was the yes. Tons of solid announcements and great studio pickups group. Coming in at second at 32% was the no. We must demand Microsoft improve the quality of the show. And in last place at 14% was the I don't care, Crazy Larry and the White Glove segments always been true.
Larry
participated. Lord Madz, what did you feel about real quickly? What did you feel about the Inside Xbox show?
Okay, well, okay. Well, I mean, it's a touchy subject. Okay, well, okay. If we going to call it XO18, it was crap. Okay. All right. And the problem is that, and this is the funny thing. I actually even had some conversation with Carl from Tiki Podcast recently on Twitter, and he was like, "Hey, Madz, why are you saying that?" I mean, it's like, because basically I feel like it was one of the best Inside Xbox shows. It might have been a bit shorter and stuff, but as an Inside Xbox show, it was great. It was a very good show,
right?
Because they had some announcements and stuff. I was actually very excited about Ninja. What's the name of Hellblade coming to Xbox Game Pass or whatever, right? They had obviously the new studio announcements and stuff. So there was stuff to share, but I don't really understand why Microsoft actually even tried to stick XO18 sticker on it. Because funny enough, I'm one of those guys that if somebody is actually referring to some older events, I will go and watch it. And I did. I did watch some of those shows from back of the days, right? And they were really good. They had a lot of games. The pacing was great. It was it's like E3. It was like game after game after game announcements. Exactly, and that was and funny enough, a couple of days before the actual show, I was like on Twitter saying that I don't have high expectations. All I want from this show is those 2 new studio announcements. I want Battletoads gameplay. I want Crackdown 3, obviously, gameplay. Some smaller titles. I want Ashen. I want Below, right? And I was actually expecting some information on xCloud. And you know what? And half of this stuff that we know that these games are coming. It's not something that they keep secret, right? I mean, Battletoads is apparently going to be released in spring of 2019, right? I'm sure they must have some sort of gameplay of this game already, right? But they didn't say anything about it. It was like, I get that they are pushing Xbox Game Pass and stuff, right? But like, if you're trying to make people to perceive this as a new brand, Xbox show for fans or whatever, not another Xbox inside Xbox.
It felt like.
I mean, make it worth it, right? So
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
That's my feeling. So it's not like it was bad, as in like, it was totally crap, because it wasn't, right? It was a pretty good show, right? The pacing could have been different, but
standpoint, it was very solid. But like it all came down to the pacing, and that was the thing that I think a lot of people had a problem with. And it just could have been presented better. You know what I'm saying? But as far as if you look at the information on paper and what they actually had to present in the studio announcements, it was a pretty solid show just based on announcements itself.
I don't think them branding it inside Xbox is gonna go over well with the Mexican crowd. What they were trying to do, they were trying to build a moment. So by branding it XO 18 Fan Fest, right? That pops, opposed to saying Inside Xbox Fan Fest, right? So that it was a branding type of thing. It was an image type of thing. Yes, it was the biggest inside of Xbox that we got. And I understand you're disheartened with Ashen not being there, Below not being there, and Battletoads not being there. I can get that whole thing right there because, I actually played Ashen and I thought they would show that and tell you when it's coming. We actually saw Below, and, didn't you have a backdoor with that, Cognito?
Yeah, I had behind the scenes with those guys. Yeah. The game looked really good.
He had a deep dive with it. He spoke with the developers and stuff like that. And those games that are actually playable, that are actually almost out the door, should have been highlighted more. But I think that show was one to show the level of engagement inside of probably their number one audience as far as Mexico, which is, who knew that, to give back to those fans, and also to have the Game Pass promotion. It was a giant Game Pass promotion to tell you that
absolutely
16 games were coming out. And the studios, they wanted to highlight the studios at the end for those people that want to know that other stuff is coming. So I can get a lot of the pacing issues. And like Kratos said, shout out to Kratos, maybe it wasn't just for us, to be honest with you.
Sure. Maybe, and that might be the case. You know what I'm saying? That definitely might be the case. So we're going to get into it. But we got a poll actually coming at the end, so stay tuned for that. So let's get into these topics, y'all. Addict is not here, but we're going to set it off with his topic. And major bombshell, y'all. Sony is skipping next year's E3. They're ditching the traditional booth, the press conference. I already hear King chirping. The ESA basically that runs the E3, they confirmed it. And they came out with a statement. It just said pretty much that, as the industry evolves, that Sony continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share those plans with us. So that broke the internet this weekend. There's a lot of discussion. I want to actually start with Solve on this because I think me and him have got a chance to talk. Me and Addict talked offline. I think I know where King stands on this based on Twitter. And we'll get Madz in after Solve. But Lord Sov, when this broke, what was your feeling? Sony skipping E3.
My immediate reaction was, what? Like, right? You just hear that and you're like, wait a minute, they're skipping the biggest show of the year. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then after a while, like, you stop and you think about reasons why they possibly would do something like this, right? And it also sort of comes into light, right? So my perspective on this is this. Some of it has to do with hubris, right? They're at the top of their game. And some of it comes off like, we don't need E3 anymore to excite people. We don't need that audience, right? First of all, let's eliminate that whole narrative that E3 is dying. E3 had 70,000 people go there last year. The E3 is not dying. And if the statement that they made is true about engaging with the fans, E3 may be dying as a trade show. As a fan-centric show, it is becoming the place to go. Because now fans are engaged every single year. So E3 is evolving into something different, but it's certainly not dying. And it's certainly not becoming irrelevant. So let's kill that narrative right away. If this is the fan-centric show, right? The fact that they're moving away from that is weird. I understand that they're gonna they're announcing PS5, right? And they're good. They want to get all of their exclusives in under one roof, talking only about PlayStation stuff, right? But at the same time, it's like I can see you wanting to be like, oh, PlayStation is apart from this. We don't need these guys. Let these guys fight it out amongst themselves. That looks good to a certain extent, but you're moving it away from where the eyes of the entire world are. And then you're also removing a platform for your third party and second party development teams that third party teams that are producing exclusive content for you all of a sudden have to wait now to present this stuff in front of just the PlayStation faithful, really, right? And not necessarily everyone. And that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think it's part hubris, part smart move to sort of focus only on them. But I don't know how it's going to pan out, because if you don't show me anything apart from all the stuff you showed me already, if you're just doing this to tell me that Ghost of Tsushima, that Death Stranding, that Last of Us 2 are going to be like launch games for the PS5 or whatever, they're going to be cross-gen games, and you're not really showing me much new that's going to blow me away, then I'm like, nah, it doesn't make any sense to do this. Why did you go do this?
Right.
And to be clear, I think next year they're back at E3.
You just read my mind on the question I was going to ask you. I was like, do you think as a result of this, so based on what you're saying, you feel that a lot of this is, they don't want to necessarily, you feel there is a little bit of hubris here. That'll be cool. And you feel that at the same time, a lot of these things might be cross-generational games. They're not ready to show those games again until they're kind of in conjunction with the PS5. But my question for you, because they've pulled out, and like I said, not only have they pulled out, they're not even doing an off-site event, right? They're not even doing a press conference around that same time. So I guess I'm just want to double down on my question to you, Solve, is do you think now they are gone from the ESA for good?
Well, this is the thing now. ESA has to find people to fill those slots, to fill that space, and that space is very expensive. So whomever they find to fill that space, whether Microsoft taking up more space or Nintendo taking up more space, or whomever fits that space, they don't have to give that up next year. So for Sony to find space on the show floor next year in 2020, it's going to be an arm and a leg for them, right? It's Sony, so they might be able to finagle that, but this makes it difficult for them to ever come back, and I don't think it makes any sense for them to never come back. Again, whomever takes that space, if it's not already Microsoft or Nintendo, if it's somebody who's only doing it for the year, or maybe it stays empty. We've seen that in the past too, that some halls have been empty because they didn't fill the space. It could happen that way, that nobody takes up that space. But if somebody does and they're happy with the production they get out of that space during E3, there's no guarantee they give it up for 2020. And Sony is kind of left out in the cold there.
Shout out to Izzy and Lord Victor House. They say Google's Ruben Castle space has space to shine now. It's like Google's in the building now. Like,
I mean, think about it. Yeah, Google, Amazon, these guys have plenty of money. The money's not the issue. So if they take up that space and they like the response they get from the fans at an event like E3, they're not going anywhere. So then then Sony is going to be in the parking lot somewhere.
Okay. Let me get Lord Madz on this, man. I mean, Lord Madz, when the news broke of Sony, 24 years, y'all, right? 24 years of them being a fixture and a presence in the ESA at E3. Like, what were your initial thoughts about this announcement, Lord Madz?
I was like, what? Well, the thing is, like, the first time when I first came across this, it was still as a rumor, because I think that was before it was actually confirmed by both Sony and ECA and whatever, right? And I was like, I was super like surprised, like, but that has never happened before, and
Unprecedented.
yeah, honestly, and I was like, actually, I was even like in deep shock because like it kind of like, all the rumors about PlayStation 5 and that kind of stuff, right? I was really one of the guys that was pretty much sure that they will tease PlayStation 5 at E3 and stuff, maybe next year or something, or where they will actually start talking about it and stuff.
Okay.
So I was very surprised, but like later on, obviously, when the dust obviously settled and stuff, I think it must have something to do with the fact that obviously they are preparing for PlayStation 5, and I don't know whether they are being cheap or whatever, right? Maybe they just saving money for to push the whole PlayStation 5 narrative like very soon and stuff. Because like I see a lot of people saying that Sony doesn't have doesn't have any games to show,
right?
Because they shown those big 4 titles. But the thing is, like, Sony is not only those 4 titles.
Not only those 4 titles, right?
They've got so many games, like from third party. Like Square Enix I think is like making 2 or 3 games exclusively for them and stuff, like smaller titles. Like they've got Level 5 working on some games for them and stuff, like exclusively for Japan and stuff. I get that they may actually want to show some of these games to Japanese audience and stuff, but like E3 is a global event, right? Everyone is actually watching, right? And some of these even like more Japanese kind of games actually make its way to like here to like States, Europe, or whatever, right? So I was very surprised, but I mean, like there's funny enough, it was like, because like when I first read it, I was like, wow, and I think like 30 minutes after, I actually came across a tweet from Resetera where this guy who apparently leaked the information on Sony not being at E3, he basically 30 minutes later, he leaked another information saying that PlayStation 5 is going to be presented to us next year.
Right.
So it kind of like obviously makes sense. So I guess we kind of have the explanation, but I'm still kind of like obviously disappointed that Sony is not going to be there, because at the end of the day, Sony and the console space is not only about the exclusives. There's a third-party content, and multiplats, and they've got obviously marketing deals with other publishers, like Call of Duty. I don't know what they actually have still.
They got a ton of the marketing.
Yeah. So it's not like Sony doesn't have anything to show. So I was very surprised.
Okay, let's get Lord King, who's been patiently chomping at it a long time.
Get your popcorn. Let's go.
Lord King, what did you feel once the news broke that Sony is not appearing at E3?
I dropped down to one knee and bend the knee to Lord and Savior Phil Spencer. I dropped down to one knee. I want y'all to hear that again. I dropped down to one knee to the Lord Savior Phil Spencer. Because let's just check this out. Let's check this out. When Xbox started this run with the Xbox One, you had names like Xbox, Xbone. You had like the name flub. I think if Phil was in charge, I don't think the name would have been Xbox One. I don't think so. The man is a strategist, right? So first things and foremost, he said, well, let's get rid of that ugly box. Let's fix that ugly box up, right? That's what he said, right? So now we got the Xbox One and it looks a little bit better. He said, okay, let's do something that they can't do, that they choose not to do. Let's put 4K Blu-ray in a box. All right, let's do that. All right. So that now they got that. So that's something that the PlayStation Pro, PlayStation 4 don't do. That And anytime that you see me post a 4K exclusive, it's, that's the only system that can do it. So it's an exclusive. So that's yanking the narrative. Now, as a strategist, what you try to do is you try to move in spaces that your competitor can't move in, right? So you move into the space, and the next space was power. All right, let's remove that power narrative from them. PlayStation just came out with their Pro. It's the most powerful system out there because they was, drubbing us, boy. They was dragging us through the streets. They was yanking us all over the place. And then Lord and Savior Phil said, yo, hold on. Let's let them shut up off that. It plays better over here. Oh, you never have 4K gaming? Shout out to Red Dead, 4K gaming on the Xbox One X. Who did that for you? Phil did that for you. Now let's keep this going. Let's keep this going. While he's moving,
why Sony skipping E3?
I'm getting it. Nah, I let y'all run. I let y'all talk. Nah, we getting there. We gonna bow down to this knee. Everybody get on one knee for this right here. Y'all gonna get on one knee for this because Phil did this, and I'm giving you Phil's roadmap. Okay, so at the same time that he's yanking the narrative off of them, like you don't got power. The next time you talk about power is gonna be on that 5. Hold that. So man, they gotta hold that because we just came out with this Pro. These dudes is rocking us in the face. All right, checkerboard that. So at the same time, here comes this Game Pass. Oh baby, who did this? Phil did this for you. You know what we're gonna do? All our games that we do in-house, Game Pass. What? Who said that? Phil said that. Damn, Sony can't match that because wouldn't it be hot if God of War was in PlayStation now? Wouldn't it be hot if Spider-Man was in PlayStation now? Hell no, we ain't doing that. We spend too much money making these games. Not gonna happen. You're not getting that. You can get that in one place though, but you can't get it here. See, this is what Phil is doing. He's strategically putting you in a corner. He's putting baby in a corner. Now, check this out. We went to E3 this year. Microsoft had an off-site site. What? What do you mean an off-site site? They say, yo, why rent space in a place where everybody's at? We have our own place, our Microsoft place. You can come check us out over here. Plus, we have some stuff over there on the floor, over there in the Microsoft area. But over here, for that true experience, for that true fan love, we got that over here. Sony got drubbed last year. They got dragged in the street last year. You don't have power. You don't have your first party content coming to Game Pass because or PlayStation Now. You got drubbed because your show was lackluster last year. Y'all was off your game. Your squad was tore up.
Fluke guy, man. You got fluke guy.
So now you saying, man, Microsoft got their own space. They doing this. They got these fans out here. This fan fest is running around. They showing the game. They buying. Phil was batting 1,000. So the whole narrative is he's buying studios. These games is coming. They're coming. He told you new system is coming. Baby in the corner looking at what the hell is going on. Like, how did this happen? Who is this dude? He's Phil. Phil Spencer, get on your knee. All right? So you said how not to lose a war because you lost the war last year in E3. How not to lose a war? Don't participate. Phil made you get out the game. Like, you out the game.
Oh my God.
So now you open the door, like Sovereign said. If Google want to show up, if Amazon want to show up, this is how that hubris, where you say my fans are going to accept anything I give them. I see all you Sony dudes out there talking all that crap. Nah, they gearing up, man. They're getting ready. Microsoft getting ready. Microsoft is getting ready. They got a new system coming too. Guess who's gonna be there? Microsoft gonna be there. You know why? They're not afraid of you no more. You know why? Because all that stuff that y'all was talking before, all you had was those little games. Ghost of Tsushima, this, that, and that. Dude, Battletoads. He just said, and I didn't even think about it. Games are coming, right? When Microsoft get on this roll, and once Phil start to hit that stride, because he right now starting to get that speed up, that galloping speed. Once he start to hit that stride, what are you going to do? You're going to say, oh, it's going to be more powerful? I don't think so, because you're not more powerful now, so Phil ain't going to allow you to get that back.
All right, so for clarity, look,
I think they're afraid. They're scared to death. Like, you know, when those dudes was down the block and you knew they was down the block, what did you do? You went around the other block because you wasn't strong enough yet, and they not strong enough.
Just to
Get on the
clarify,
block.
your reasoning behind Sony not showing is they are afraid.
They dead scared. They dead scared. Dead scared. What you got to show? They said they ain't have nothing. They don't got no games, right?
Oh, you talking about? So you're talking about what they're scared of? What Microsoft might present, or
no? They listen. You was at the E3.
Hear this.
You saw what Microsoft did on that stage. You saw Phil came out with a swagger, my dude, that he didn't have. He didn't have that swagger before. He came out with that swagger like, I got him. I got him now. Yo.
So my last E3 performance was very strong. I will agree.
It was very strong. What was Sony's?
E3 last year. The show.
So what's Sony gonna do? Show Ghost of Tsushima again? What you gonna do again?
Okay, so basically, you're again, just to clarify your position,
they're afraid.
They are afraid because
scared to death.
More to show, and that they have just those same 4 titles to show.
Tell me a new game that they got talking about. They come. Oh, you know, they're making games. It's come. God of War dudes sat on that game. I don't know how many years. All right. So you know, you got the Last of Us dudes sat on that game was gonna come. Then what happens? See, when you say I'm a disrespect, like Lord Sovereign says, the people that I have these exclusive deals with, you're disrespecting them by not highlighting those games that they chose to ride with you. You know what Phil said? We're gonna be here. You can count on us when those deals come back up.
Very petty of Lord Phil to immediately that.
I like that though. I love that. Just go do that.
Yo, and you know who won E3 2019? Microsoft. And who did that for you ahead of time?
All right. So let me ask you this question, King. Before that, I'll jump in. What about from this point forward on? Do you think this is a one-time deal with Sony, or that they are gone from the ESA for good?
It depends on how bad Phil bashes their forehead in. It depends literally on how bad Phil knocks their teeth down their throat. Like, because you know, right now, I don't care what nobody say. Right now, I believe competition breeds excellence, right?
Absolutely.
And I believe steel sharpens steel. When you no longer want to engage in combat, that shows a sign of being afraid. I don't need to take this no more. This beating does not need to be given to me.
It's been one E3 though, King. Like,
yo, but you know what? What happens when the avalanche starts? Like, at what point does the avalanche? You know, when Sony took that narrative from Nintendo, when Crash Bandicoot was standing out in front of the Nintendo headquarters, when Sony was about combat, don't ever forget Sony was them dudes that say, "You disrespected us. We gonna take this back." They got fat. They got lazy. Microsoft is training. Microsoft got dragged. Don't ever forget the part that Microsoft got dragged. This generation, because that 360 was knocking teeth out. Phil said, let's get back to the teeth knocking. Teeth knocking back. Teeth knocking season is in.
Heart in the chat going for you, J Street. They said afraid. What is afraid? They're afraid. They said Microsoft is losing.
Yeah, like, you know what? This is true. They're losing right now.
It doesn't make any sense to.
It makes a lot of
biggest show. You know, no, I'm saying from a fan perspective, why would you walk away from the biggest fan event? That's what it is now. It's a fan event.
Right.
They're about the fans, right?
The entire year. It doesn't make any sense. You would walk away from that. There's still, regardless to what, there's going to be more eyes on you during E3 than at any other point. I don't care if it's your own event. It's not going to. I mean, if you're not going to PS5, you're going to have a lot of people watching you.
Salvin, let me ask you this question, right? What will prevent you from buying a PlayStation 5? Them showing up and showing a PlayStation 5, and it's like, okay. Or Microsoft showing up, dragging these dudes with a more powerful system, better service, all these games, and you like, damn, nigga, Sony, what you showing Ghost of Tsushima again? Like, you gonna really gonna show Ghost of Tsushima? How many times you gonna come here with Ghost of Tsushima? Like,
all right, let me ask.
You don't engage when you don't have anything. They ain't have the combinations is whack.
Let me ask Madz. And the question now is that now the information is disseminated. We know for sure they're not going to be there. Lord Madz, like, how do you think Microsoft? I think we're forgetting Nintendo as well. How do you think they can and will they be able to capitalize on this?
Um, I think they will actually start teasing next generation a little bit.
Mhm.
Now, I don't expect, because like I've seen some people on Twitter saying, "Oh, so now it's time for Microsoft to shine. Let's show Scarlet and all these games, right?" But the fact of the matter is that uh, I think what they may actually do is what they did with Xbox One X, like with a Project Scorpio, right?
Mhm.
So like they actually, I mean, like, to be honest with you, they pretty much announced Scarlet already, right?
Yeah,
At
they
this year's
already
E3.
announced it. Yeah.
People talk about, like, Phil Spencer confirmed that, and he, like,
Yes.
talks about it already, right? That is going to be more powerful, that is going to be more balanced system, right? And but I'm talking about, like, they may actually give us a tease of what's ahead of us, right?
Mm.
We're probably not going to hear anything about specs and all the bits and pieces, but like I'm sure they will actually talk about it, like, a little bit.
Now,
Now
okay, I want to ask you a quick follow up to that too. Do you
Mm.
think this is also strategic by Sony? Because there's another lot of things I'm hearing also for the reasoning behind Sony doing it is that they don't want to show their hand and that they want Microsoft to show their hand so that then they can try to
Yeah.
come behind them and one up them, in similar ways
Yeah,
past.
I think there's something to it, because like if you even if you look at previous events, I mean, like with PlayStation 4 Pro,
Mhm.
for example, they presented Pro like literally a month or maybe 2 months before it was actually released.
Mhm.
They waited till the very end, right?
Mhm.
While Xbox was actually, it was actually funny because like Microsoft teased Scorpio,
Mhm.
even though it was 18 months. Actually, it was the actual launch was like 18 months away.
Mhm.
So they actually teased Scorpio before Sony actually even started talking about Pro, even though Pro was actually coming at the very same year.
Right.
So I guess that Sony is actually like, it's actually funny because they show games like 6 years before they actually launch,
Right.
but in terms of hardware and services and that kind of stuff, they are very careful about it, right? They are very like hush hush and everything close to the chest, right? So I think there must be something to it, and
Okay.
well, obviously we'll probably move into the whole PlayStation 5 talk
Yeah.
and stuff, but like,
We're gonna
yeah, but
transition.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, but like the actual, as I said before, like the most recent leaks talks about the fact that Sony will actually start talking about PlayStation 5 this year, but not at E3, probably after, right?
Okay. Yeah, let me jump in, man. 'Cause this is man. So I wish Attic was here too because we had some great talks offline. And yeah, this is a lot of mixed emotions for me because this first of all, just from a pure E3 standpoint, this is very sad. Because to be honest, like I'm concerned about the future of E3 as we know it, to be honest. Like this is unprecedented territory. They've been there for 24 years. Sony been in the box, and them not having a booth, I get it. Rising costs of E3, I get that. Controlling your own narrative, having your own smaller show, I get that. But I agree with Mines in the sense that I don't necessarily agree that they had nothing to show. You know what I'm saying? We know, yes, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, blah blah blah, the big 3 to 4. We know about that. But like King, like I struggle with the fact that the third party games that these got exclusive, rights to and stuff like that, and marketing deals, they're not going to be able to debut and shine on the Sony stage because it's just not going to exist. So that part is like, wow, like that to me, I want to know how that relationship is affected. And then, obviously before Microsoft moved to Sunday, there was something to be said, King, that we live saw like for that head to head. Like Microsoft went then it's boom. It was like a freestyle battle. You know what I'm saying? It was like you waiting for Microsoft drop Ether. Let's see if they're gonna drop the back to back. Let's see what they do. Like those are the moments from E3 that you never forget. And it's just weird that they are not going to participate. Like it really shocked me. You know what I'm saying? Like that they're not part of that. So is it probably the sign of the times? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? It may be, and it may be a situation that eventually everybody comes out of it.
No, I mean, I agree completely with the fact that the space inside the convention center is
why is everybody eating
super
this, man?
expensive.
Like,
It's super expensive. No, I get that. I get that narrative about it being super expensive in the convention center and finding your own space outside of the convention center. But what bothers me, what's weird to me, is that you're still removing. EA didn't leave E3. EA makes sure that those same eyes are still on them. They're just not in the convention center. Like,
and not to cut you off, that's the thing that troubles me the most, because at the very least, I'm like, okay, you're not going to have a booth at E3. That's one thing, right? But then to say you're not doing a press conference, you're not giving your fan base
no presence whatsoever.
That is a concern to me. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Pacta. You know, he made some comments. Some analysts made some comments, you know, with the, like you said, the biggest space to not have any eyes. Like even Nintendo, which doesn't technically have all this, you know, tremendous super presence. I mean, they have booths and stuff like that, but they have that direct, right? They'll just show you.
They have a direct, but they also on the floor. Like don't get it twisted. Nintendo floor presence is.
I take that.
You can't get into their section. Like they section is shut it down section.
It's like, my thing is, can they afford Sony to do that? Like
after reading the chat, yeah, they can afford to do it. You have a whole bunch of dudes in there talking about, man, you don't know what they doing, man. Sony coming, man.
I know.
Yo, they said they not. So stop. Just listen to what they said.
Whatever reveal event is gonna be, it's gonna be an auditorium. It's gonna be one stage. You're gonna have videos. You're gonna have execs out there show the system. You're gonna have Mark Cerny out there talking, and that's what it's gonna be. Right. So that's gonna be a far cheaper thing than a whole big E3 production. I get that.
Right now, so they have said that they're not having any of that.
This is the part, man.
That's the part that's
no. I'm talking about for their reveal, what they're gonna do.
Oh, okay. Like next year.
So I can understand that's gonna be a cheaper thing than them doing anything.
Now they budget cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They was just out in cash. They was just talking about them bucks. Now they cutting back. Like, yo, who's in charge? Who's the Fugu dude in charge? Like, who's in charge of these dudes?
I can understand that narrative for 2019 to separate themselves from. We're like, look, man, we're trouncing these guys. We're doing our own thing. You need to see this. You need to have your eyes on our thing, and that's fine. Beyond that, though. No, beyond that, you need to be going toe to toe, head to head with these guys every single year.
How do you feel about the
fans are watching?
Taking a knee? How do you feel about the champ saying, "Nah, I don't want to fight"?
It feels like the champ took his ball and went home. Like he took his ball.
Yo, he literally said he got smacked in the mouth and said, "Nah, I don't want that smoke." Like, how do you feel? How do you even stand up? These dudes
play the
is
devil's
out here.
advocate, right? To play the devil's advocate.
Nah, that's sucker stuff, man.
If they do have smoke that we haven't seen.
That's the thing. You know what it is? You out here giving benefit of the doubt. I'm telling you, they just told you. They not sneak attack Sony. They not sneak attack Sony. No, these are the dudes that was standing in front of Nintendo headquarters talking about, we got that, we want that smoke. These are the same dudes. Don't backpedal now when you get smacked in the mouth by Big Boy and he said, "What's up now? I've been lifting weights. I done took my steroids, and what's really good right now?" And your man said, "I don't want to wrestle. I don't want to wrestle."
What about the theory that, okay, according to you, they got smacked in the mouth, right? According to you, last E3 they took an L, and the consensus
they took that L, nigga.
Right. So what about the dude who got smacked in the mouth, runs home, and is loading up artillery?
Oh, so he trained. So he's doing the Channel 5. He training right now. He's in the bushes. Like,
what if he getting the toast? What if he gearing up with the tech? He got his AMD, you know what I'm saying, on cop, and he's ready.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that they wouldn't do what they've done in the past, which is announce the system in February, March, show more, elaborate during E3, and then PSX elaborate even more. That that cadence works perfectly. It doesn't make any sense.
That was actually something that I was actually expecting, and that's why I was super surprised the fact that they actually canceled. But I also wanted to bring out something like real quickly, and this is something that bring harmony in the chat. I also actually mentioned before. I mean, E3. E3 is actually not only a fun fest and fun kind of service kind of event, right? And because like everyone waits for those big events and those shows and new announcement stuff. But like E3 actually started as a trade show, right?
Yes.
So it was for professionals only, for people who actually for gaming industry, not fans. Now we were getting information from that, and obviously the press was invited to play the games because it was also a good way to kind of promote games. But like at the backstage, all these people, developers, publishers and stuff, were making deals, right? So E3 is a bit different right now, because like when did it start? When they actually starting allowing fans to come in and play the games, like 2, 3, 4 years ago,
right?
2 years.
Maybe 2 years
Yeah.
ago. 2 years ago.
But like before that, it was a trade show. It was only for
Exclusive.
professionals. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like it also kind of maybe shows me that like Sony doesn't have any interest in like carrying on with this, because like they don't have anything PlayStation 4 related, and they are really gearing up for PlayStation 5, but maybe they're not ready to talk about it just yet. So I don't know. It's just like weird.
It is interesting, and I want to transition this into the next topic, because obviously it's a lot of strong feelings about what Sony is doing and what they might be doing in reference to the PS5. So Madz, you had some great videos out. Obviously, we've seen some things running around as far as rumors, as far as potentially 12 teraflops. We're also hearing patents. We're hearing things about, this potentially touchscreen controller, that apparently an updated patent was filed by Sony Interactive Entertainment. And again, we're not officially confirming that it's for PlayStation 5. There was some concern about what it might be for, but the rumors suggest that it could be that, and we've seen a lot of stuff going around. So I'm gonna let you lead this off, Madz, because you've got a lot of informative videos on PlayStation 5. What do you think they are loading up with spec-wise from AMD and this whole controller situation?
Okay, well, what I think is, obviously, disclaimer, like everyone, like
take it with a grain of salt.
Exactly. And so basically, from what I'm hearing from the leaks and rumors and stuff, and some educated guesses, I guess. Well, obviously, on the CPU side, it's probably going to be Zen based. I mean, as in, like, it's not going to be Ryzen, because Ryzen is the CPU that is available for PC market, right? So it's not really going to be Ryzen per se. It's going to be based on the same architecture, but obviously customized and stuff, right? So even though there was a leak recently that I also covered, and that actually got me quite a lot of exposure.
Yes, I remember that leak.
Yeah, this particular leak was talking about 6-core and 12-thread CPU. But like even recently, like actually there was another source, Tweak Channel. Actually, I actually made video on that today, and that was actually the guy there. The article actually talks about 8-core CPU, 8-core 16-thread CPU for both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet, right?
Wow.
Which would be a great stuff. But the thing is that it would also make sense for backwards compatibility kind of reasons, and the way they handle games and stuff, because like the thing with consoles, they are so like down to the metal kind of game systems, right? That every single thing needs to be controlled, and they need to be very careful about, like, and if they want to make this backwards compatible, like things like number of cores actually matter as well. It's all about distribution of workload and stuff, right?
Exactly. Right.
So it would actually make sense for them to go with 8-core CPU. I'm not so convinced on the whole multi-threading, right? Because it just makes the CPU more expensive, just a little bit, and it obviously doesn't make it like twice faster, right? Because multi-threading,
the benefit to gaming isn't necessarily there.
Yeah, it's more for like other workloads, like with some if you are I don't know, a graphics designer or whatever, right? So that it's the benefits there are better, but like for gaming, it's not that much of a difference. Well, maybe that's going to change in the future. You never know. But like so far, it's more about like IPC. How much work one particular physical core can do, rather than how many what other threads can do. Right. So I guess we can assume that it's going to be a 8-core CPU. If we go with the information we are getting from AMD on the APUs, their future APUs and stuff. I mean, we already seeing APUs, Ryzen-based APU, Zen-based APUs running at over 3 gigahertz, right? So I guess 3 gigahertz CPU for these consoles is not out of the realm of possibility.
Definitely not out the realm. And I just want to tie this in conjunction with price points, because Jorge's in the chat, he made a good point. Like, do you think with them gearing up, and one of the main reasons I feel that besides the mismessaging of Microsoft at the start of the generation, one of the things that I felt like kind of handed the platter over to them to win the gen was also the price point, and the fact that they were $400. And we cannot understate that. Like Microsoft, the Xbox One launched at $500. These guys at $400. Do you think, based on what we're hearing about the Navi, based on what we're hearing about, the AMD tech and stuff that they may be putting in the cores, like they will be able to hit that 400? You think they would still take the loss and do it that way? Or based on what we're hearing, do you think because the prices of parts and stuff should go down, that they will still charge 500? Like, what do you think on price point, if you had to guess?
I mean, from what I'm hearing, and I guess that would make sense for them, they probably going to try to aim at $400. And people saying that, oh, that's not possible with that kind of tech. Well, do you remember what PC gamers and other guys actually were telling about Scorpio, that 6 teraflops on consoles, $800 minimum.
Yes, right.
And we all know how that ended up, right? So the problem is that Sony can hit $400, no problem. The real question is how because it's not only about technology, because like you can use Navi, you can use Zen, as in like Ryzen CPUs and stuff. It's not that expensive, and to be honest with you, Navi is going to be a consumer product coming from AMD based on Vega a little bit, right? So with Navi, AMD on PC market, they are aiming at a budget gaming, so they're not making a high specs, high end kind of GPUs. I mean, not yet, right? Because there's other things like Infinity Fabric that will actually allow them most likely to make like a powerful GPUs in the future for PC market. But like the latest leak about Navi 12 talks about like budget friendly GPU, right? And so these parts are not really going to be that expensive right now. Vega 12 teraflops Vega right now based on 40 nanometers technology may actually be expensive, but that's going to change later on, because like first of all, they most likely going to produce those chips in 7 nanometers, which will reduce the cost of these chips, right? And also, if you look at the PC space right now, right? I mean, you can get Zen-based Ryzen APU with a Vega chip on it already for like as little as $99, right? And that's 4-core CPU with a GPU already on that, right? And that's running over 3 gigahertz, right? So obviously, that's probably going to get even cheaper when they actually move to 7 nanometers.
Right.
So, getting an 8-core CPU for around like $80 and stuff, that's not really going to be big of a deal for them. Maybe even cheaper. I don't know, right? Same with Navi, right? I mean, Navi is going to be literally the same level of same kind of type of card, a budget card, as Radeon RX 580, RX 480, which actually offers the same level of graphics performance as Xbox One X. So you can you see there that $400-$500 12 teraflops 12 teraflops consoles are more than possible, like next year and moving forward, right?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely makes sense. It makes sense, and like I said, with the prices coming down and things of that nature, it definitely seems doable. And I guess the last part I want to ask you, and you dropped the video today in reference to this, was the potential Microsoft counter, right? Because we know they are also coming out with a system, and what based on what your latest video was talking about, again with Navi and AMD, like, what do you feel they will do? You know what I'm saying? Do you think it's a situation we know Sony's not going to be there? We know Microsoft doesn't particularly want to lose the power narrative again. You know what I'm saying? So is it a situation where they kind of stay in line with what Sony's doing, or do you think they even wait further until they reveal their hand? Like, what do you feel about that in reference to the tech from Microsoft?
I mean, I don't necessarily think that Microsoft is looking at what Sony is doing, in a sense that, I mean, if you look at them, what they've been doing for the last couple of years, they were like, they were always first to announce stuff, right? And obviously, sometimes that did bite them in a butt, right? Unfortunately, because sometimes when people are not ready to, for changes, revolution, whatever, right? Sometimes it backfires on you, and it did on Microsoft a couple of times. So I don't think that Microsoft will actually look at Sony as in,
so you think they're operating independent of what Sony's doing?
Yeah, I think. I mean, listen, I'm sure that they may have some leaks about what one company is doing and whatever, right? But I don't think that they actually kind of like looking at it in a sense that, we'll wait for Sony to reveal their console, then we'll make some moves. Because the problem is that the whole development process and designing process of these APUs and what have you, that takes years, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, like, if you listen to Phil Spencer or Mark Cerny from Sony, they are starting working on these new consoles basically months after the previous generation is launched, right? So they've been working on this console for a while, and the thing is, like, sure, there's some room for improvements and changes, right? As in, like, like with PlayStation 4, apparently that they added additional 4 gigabytes of RAM before PlayStation 4 launched, right? So I mean, they can do that kind of stuff, right? But like, technology and how many cores and like the base architecture has to be set really like way before they start talking with developers and start sending them those dev kits and stuff. Because they need to have some, baseline to work on, right? Because, like, I mean, look, later on in the development process, they can obviously up the clocks or maybe add a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But these are not going to be big and architectural changes, right?
Right.
Like with Xbox, I don't think it would be possible to actually like change the whole memory system like few months before the actual console.
So pretty much the vibe you're giving me, Lord Madz, these guys are locked in.
Well, pretty much. Yeah. Now, I mean, a good example what may change is like with Xbox One, for example. They launched with 1.6 gigahertz CPU clocks, right?
Right.
They changed it to 1.75 after a couple of months because they tested that Xbox One actually can handle the heat and stuff, right? And that's the way it's been ever since, right? So that kind of changes I can see happening, here and there, but not like major architectural changes, because that would actually change the way developers would have to code the game and stuff. So I don't think that would happen, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
but
I mean,
I do believe that Microsoft will at least try not to give out the power narrative. And Phil Spencer keeps talking about the fact that they will make another most powerful console ever and that kind of stuff, right? So I think that if we actually talk about which console may be more powerful, it's I mean, both companies have similar chances and stuff, right? They can both make very powerful consoles, but I think it's not necessarily about what sort of specs they can bring to the table, but what price point?
Price point. So you feel, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Because
All right,
like good example is PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X. Because like it's all in the details. Xbox One X is more expensive, not only because of it has better tech and stuff, but also more sophisticated cooling system and stuff, right? That costs money as well. Yeah. So because like here's the funny thing. If you for example, if we omit clock speeds, right? If you in comparison between PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X, right? And you look at these specs, you see 8-core CPUs on one side and the other. Hey, similar, right? Then we look at number of compute units and a number of shading processors on GPUs, right? And funny enough, Xbox One X has only 10% more compute units than PlayStation 4 Pro, but offers 40% more power. Why? Because they were able to up the clocks to a level that PlayStation 4 Pro wouldn't be able to handle because of the cheap cooling system.
Right.
So, you know.
No, these are all valid points. I want to get Solved in before we move into the next thing with Xbox. Solved, based on what we've seen with the patents, I don't know if you got a chance to see that with the touchscreen stuff,
right,
as well as just general information about PlayStation 5 rumors as far as the spec. You know, how do you feel about how they may be approach gearing up for the next generation?
I mean, I pretty much agree with everything that Matt said. Like, when it comes to the controller in particular, oftentimes you see patents and they don't go anywhere.
Right.
They just sort of throwing stuff out there, making sure that no one else takes it in case they do decide to use it. I don't see much of a benefit to incorporating that sort of tech in a controller per se, unless you're really going to incorporate your controller heavily into your next gen like VR stuff or what have you. Beyond that, I mean, you know, the trackpad thing on the PS4 it's not great. You know, you can use it for maps and things like that, but it's not intuitive. It's just not a button that you can press and like sort of, you know, exactly where it's going to take you. I don't think it's necessary to have that much crazy tech in your controllers.
Right.
So that could be neither here nor there. Maybe they are doing something with that, maybe they're not. When it comes to the systems, like I said, I agree with Madz. I think when it comes to the metal of the systems, I think both of these guys are pretty much locked in. And I think they're pretty much on a parallel plane when it comes to the power of these systems. Like, these guys research this stuff. They know what price point they're trying to hit, and they know what they could, how they can max out that price point, right? And at the same time doing things for the system to sort of separate its identity from its competitor. Now, like Matt said, increasing clock speeds, things like that you can do to sort of differentiate your system from its competition. On the Xbox side, obviously, what helps them is the services that everything is going to be based around, right? Where Sony doesn't necessarily have all that stuff.
Right.
And then when you talk about like things like maybe you have an SSD in there, things like that. This, again, differentiators that can put your system over the other one. So for PS5, I think when it comes down to the metal of the system, how the system's going to be, how it's going to be run, I think they like having very simplified UIs. I think that's something that over Microsoft, there've been complaints that Microsoft's UIs never run smoothly and this, that, and the other. I think PlayStation wise, it's going to be a very simple UI to utilize, and just going to focus on how powerful the system is.
Right.
And I think price wise, I think they're both looking at $500. I don't think this time around, again, and it goes back to being number one, and now you're not apologizing for anything anymore, right? Now you're like, we're on top, you're gonna eat what we give you. I think they're smart enough to know they can't do the $600 thing again. They can't do that.
Right.
It's gonna be $5, and I think they're both gonna be $5.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap, King, unless you got something else on it before we move on.
I never got anything on it at all. Yeah, I never got anything on it at all. I sat down. I'm sitting there and I'm gonna eat that. I'm playing with the chat. I'm listening to all these dudes talk all that PlayStation stuff. It's nice. You know what? They're gonna come with a system. Yeah, they're gonna do that. Is it gonna be more powerful? Nope. That's a fact. y'all can sit there and talk. Oh, it's gonna be 10 teraflops and floops and all. Yeah, whatever. You know, it's gonna have a 12-core GPU. Whatever. You're at the point right now, right? See, you got revisionist history, and hey, Christopher, talking to you, baby.
Christopher Hart.
See, I was sitting there playing with you in chat, waiting for my turn to get you on live. Y'all forgot what that PlayStation did when it got that 360 smoke. Remember that? Remember that smoke? I mean, y'all wasn't running around with no numbers. Y'all was running. Y'all actually was sitting in the corner. Baby sat in the corner. You know what Phil remembers? Phil remember the good old days where Baby sat in the corner. You know what y'all doing right now? Phil putting Baby back in the corner. So, all right. So you have the Scarlet coming, and you know you have that stream system coming. Now what they said is, yeah, we have the stream system for them broke dudes who can't, you know, swim in the big waters with the sharks. I feel you. I got you. Don't worry about that. He ain't say something stupid like, check this out. We got a system for you. It's called a 360. He ain't do no disrespectful stuff like that. No, you say, yo, you know, we got that stream joint, and that's gonna alleviate that wallet. Like, that's gonna be that come in and buy that quick purchase. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you on a fence and you want to just test it out before you go big dog style, you want to test it out. You're not too sure. Here, we got this for you. All right, so let's put that on the table to the side, right? Now, you said all these cores and these rumors and this stuff, and I think the controller is going to be fantastic. I really like certain aspects of the PlayStation 4 controller that it has a mic inside, and I thought it was really nice that when we was first playing, I talked with Sovereign about this in the car. When we was first playing some of the first early PlayStation games, they were using that mic. That mic was like, you know, like your shout out stuff, like it's something to be over there, or you'll do something and you hear a voice, audible cue.
Yeah.
So it was very nice. Like, remember in the early stages of the PlayStation 3, and it had like the motion control, and you was able to fly Warhawk through stuff. PlayStation usually has this great tech in the controllers, and for the first couple of months, that stuff works out in games, right? And I really believe that they're going to have, how can I say it, the touch screen in its work. But how long are they going to support it? When the season is no longer viable, they really cut you guys off, and y'all don't ever fight. Y'all don't ever say, yo, what happened to that? You just sit there and take it. Now, just check it out. He just told y'all, no E3 for you. So you sitting there talking all that, yeah, shut up. No E3 for you. Just no E3 for you. Oh, but they're going to have, no. They're not going to have no little show for you. They're not going to have nothing. What you're going to have to do is sit down and watch all the other people party and have fun. It's like you go into a club and they said just because you have on a green wristband, you got to put on these earmuffs and sit in the corner with these blinders because there's no show for you. So everybody else is going to be at the big dance. They won't be at the big dance. What is concerning is none of you guys are in an uproar. You're just willing to eat it and take it and feel that they are going to do something that's going to make it better for you later. This is where hubris sets in. And they are allowed to do whatever they want with you, and you have already allocated your bucks to take their foolishness. And that's why you will always get what they serve you and not get what you deserve. Microsoft is going to give you what you deserve. We're talking about right now a speculation on the PlayStation 5, and we're going to get to the Microsoft section. I'm just going to keep it on the PlayStation 5. Yes, I believe it's going to have all those cores. Yes, I believe that controller is going to do what it's going to do. Yes, I believe that Navi is going to do what it's going to do. I do not believe it's enough.
So your thought process is that at the end of the day, you still feel that Microsoft is going to do whatever they can in their power to maintain the power narrative. That's what you
They just Phil already came out and said we're gonna have the most powerful system. Straight up. He saw your specs. He heard your specs. He's inside. He already got the spies. They already slipped the specs on the table. I'm pretty sure that he sat there. The specs came across the table. He said,
Yo, B Money coming at you, son. He said, first, they still use the mic on the controller. He said that y'all been eating and taking Microsoft nonsense all generation, waiting for them to be great again. He
you
said,
talking about this generation,
yes.
B Money? Okay. First of all, I didn't eat anything. When Microsoft did something wrong, I called it out. When I told y'all watch Phil smoke, I ain't never been wrong yet. See, is a difference between when I call Mark Cerny a snake oil salesman, I call him that for a reason. And keep watching it. Y'all are accident champions. You're a champion by mistake. You're a champion because the other champions slipped up. Don't ever forget your history because you're doomed to repeat it. 360 smoked you and just cruise to the next level, right? I believe in that cruising. They lost followers. They allowed y'all to gain, right? And in the same time, the hubris set in. They were so big about themselves. They told you stupid stuff like, yeah, we got a system for you. Y'all said, what? They said, oh, it's always going to be online and you had to do this. Don't ever forget Microsoft was in the same position Sony's in. And they made those mistakes by taking us for granted. And us guys left and went and brought PlayStation. I got a PlayStation. I brought a PlayStation. I brought it at the same time the Xbox. I think a week apart. I didn't give a damn. I did that. But for that guy who felt mistreated, unappreciated, and left out, that guy went and brought a Sony. That guy saw it was $100 and he didn't want to connect. He went and brought a Sony. Listen, they were a champ. Nintendo used to be the champ too. Don't ever forget that hubris takes it to a point where you don't fall back and you don't see it. You don't see it coming. This is that part where it happens when you say, we're about our fans, but we're not going to the most fan-friendly event for our content. That's like a Marvel movie not doing no press run.
It's weird. There's no mic drop like an E3 mic drop. There just isn't.
Yeah,
so you sitting there, listen, all that stuff, all that PlayStation stuff is real. It's coming. Y'all gonna get it. But just look at what they're saying to you right now. All right. So don't think that I'm an Xbox stan. No, Phil is that dude. You got to respect greatness when it's happening. Don't stand in his way. Just let it happen. But I'm telling you, like certain moves aren't palatable and it's not going down well. You guys are sitting back saying, okay, yeah, they're not going to show up, but they got something coming, though. I believe they do. What happens if they don't?
Listen, man, we're gonna move on with this, but yeah, I mean, it is interesting. I think they are gearing up. I think, based on what Madz is saying, I definitely think the specs are going to be high. It'll be interesting to see what the price point is going to be, whether it be the sweet spot of the 400 if they maintain that, or the 5, and then obviously it's going to be interesting to see what Microsoft counter. But what we do know, Lord King, is that Microsoft is got something with no discs in it. What's going on?
Hey guys, we're back. Guess who's doing this for you? Young man, Lord Savior, Phil Spencer. You know what he said? He said, yo, that Xbox, even though we made it smaller, love it slimmer, you know what would be nice? We take out the disk drive for those dudes that's just doing that digital stuff, right? Let's lower the price on this bad boy. Let's get it into more homes. Let's double down on what we have already to let people know that our content is going to still flow. For those people that didn't jump in, that didn't engage, and that price point ain't ready for you yet, let's take that disk drive out. Let's put that there. Now, they're also launching a system with a disk. So it's going to be a new SKU, right? So the new SKU is going to be a diskless one, and it's going to have a disk drive, right? Now, for those people that go diskless, what you're going to do, and let's say you have physical games, you're going to take it to a Microsoft buyback, and what they're going to do is give you a digital code for that game that you brought in. Very simple. They might have like a mail-in thing, like they send you an envelope, you send it back, and pop out, boom, the code pops in, and you just download your game. This is called options. Madz definitely said the reason why he likes Microsoft is because of the versatility and the options that they're providing you. Now, he was talking about old school Microsoft. You know, that DNA where they say, yo, you could play in here and you had the Ethernet and you had this and you had the hard drive and you had all this stuff that he said he brought a PlayStation. He didn't have a memory card. He couldn't save his stuff. But Microsoft launched with a system with a hard drive and it was able to save. You understand? So it's little tiny things that makes the core gamer say, wow, they're actually thinking about us. So this new system is coming, not even anything to do with Scarlet, nothing to do with the X Drive system that's coming later. This is just for this generation to shore up all those other dudes that's on the fence, to give you a slimmer skew, to remove the bad taste of all that stuff that came before, because they stunk it up in the beginning. My question is this a viable thing, and who is it marketed to now?
Yeah, this is interesting. Let me jump in on this because obviously when this news broke, I was like, wow, okay. We have come full circle. And I just thought about it. Was it 2013 soft? Or what was the Xbox One reveal? Was it 2013?
2013.
And we all know the fateful story. We all know that. We all know about trading used games over here. It was a perfect chess move by Sony. We get that. And it's just so funny because I remember, and I'm on the record, and actually it solved me, all of us here on the record, that we were not afraid of this digital only era. We were willing, at least I'll speak for myself. I was willing to go in on that because I said to myself, the majority of my games I am playing digitally. And first of all, just real talk, I'm Lord Lazy. The days of me getting up and putting the disc in, that is not happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm Lord Lazy. I like to go through my my UI, my apps, and look at all my games and be able to switch on the fly. So for me, it's a non-issue. I've always been digital all day. That's just how I am. Now I understood for the physical guys that was not going to fly at that time. Tremendous backlash. Sony capitalized perfect. I get that. Now we come full circle now, and it looks like here we are. You know what I'm saying? 2019 is approaching, and we're hearing news of Microsoft giving you the option, and again, the keyword is option, like King said, of a discless Xbox. And to me, the more important thing, besides how is it going to be received, is that I don't feel it's getting enough credit. Is this trading system, right? So pretty much they're talking about a disc to digital program. And right now, from my understanding, is that for the people who plan on buying the disc-less Xbox, that if they have this, that they can go trade them in. The question is going to be where. I don't see GameStop getting down with this. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Best Buy going in and you coming in with 1 million games in your backpack and they're giving you a quote. So my vibe is probably going to be like a Microsoft store kind of thing. And maybe they implement it that way. So I want to see how that is. But I do feel the process itself is very cool to try to get people into that mindset if they want to do it. And again, the key thing I want to stress is that, this is an option. There are people who are like me who don't buy discs. I don't go to GameStop. Like I love the days that I don't have to stay online till midnight to get a release. Like GameStop, I love it. I love that. Hey, pre-download. My game is going in the background. When I come home, whatever, I'm good to go. So that's just me, Sov and Madz. I'm gonna let Sov jump in and Madz. Then what you guys think about this whole discless Xbox and the whole disc to digital program?
The word that came to mind is what you've been saying. For me, it's the fact that they keep giving you options, and they keep sliding in all of these features that people weren't up for about 5 years ago, and they keep giving them to you in a way, which is the smart way, which is what they should have done from the beginning, is to present them as options. Present them, look, if you don't want to necessarily jump into this full tilt immediately, this is a way to ease you into this. Now, if the price point is what they're talking about, $100 Xbox One S option, with no physical disk drive and the ability for you to take your physical disks, if that's what you've been playing up until this point, and trade them in and get digital codes so you still have your games, is an amazing consumer friendly option that not everybody's going to be willing to do. And I think Microsoft has been clear about, listen, this is our ecosystem. We're giving you 10 different ways to engage with it. You decide what's best for you. Like, if you don't want to subsidize the system and do that, then don't do that. Like, we're giving you more and more options. The fact of the matter is that they've stated very clearly their ecosystem is going to be fluid from now on. Right? You're going to be playing. I still feel that you're going to be playing these next gen games, a version of them on these older systems. There will be a stop point at some point. I don't think that's right now. So it just gives people who don't want to jump in full tilt with a $500 system the option to engage with this ecosystem that gives you a lot of value across the board at a very low price point. And then that also takes into consideration how you've been playing up until that point and allowing you to try something different. Nobody else is doing this. It's really, for me, I think it's an ingenious way of convincing people that have not wanted to get into your ecosystem. Hey, man, you have 10 different avenues to get into this. You decide.
I want to ask you a question before I give it to Lord Madz, Lord Sov, and this is some rhetoric. I'm not going to name no names, but there's been some rhetoric in these Twitter and YouTube streets in reference to you guys saying, I guess let's put us in that category, which is fans of the digital revolution, right? The all digital gaming future, so to speak, right? And I've seen comments or videos to the effect that, hey, you guys are bending the knee and succumbing to practices that are not consumer friendly, that we need to all be fighting for the physical disc. What say you to that, Lord Sov?
I say this. I think people become too attached to physical things. I have no assumptions that I'm going to die and take these games with me. I'm going to enjoy them for the duration of my life, and that is that. I understand the idea of not actually owning something and just having a license to it or whatnot.
Right.
When it comes to physical stuff, and you're talking about a physical disk drive working 15, 20 years down the line, that sort of stuff becomes shaky in and of itself. Like, you have to go search across the world to be able to find, fixes and stuff for your physical consoles if you want to play these games, these physical discs way in the future. So that's something that for me I consider. Like, I'm like, all right, I don't want to be doing this all these years down the line. Right now, anything that I enjoyed on my Super NES or my NES, I have in digital form, in some way, shape, or form. For me, I don't have that attachment anymore. I did for quite some time. And I think, just like you, like, I'm kind of Captain Lazy. Like, I don't want to be doing all that stuff. I don't want to be.
Case.
Yeah,
I do miss the instruction booklet days, though.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah,
I miss the instruction booklet
back
days.
in the day were the greatest. They were fantastic. And the moment they just started giving you a case with nothing in there but the game, I was like, I don't care for this. I don't need this. So for me, I'm not attached to physical stuff like that. I understand people's attachment. I understand the logistics behind it, where in some parts of the world, data caps, in some parts of the country, like,
it's not feasible.
It's not feasible. I get that. And I think Microsoft understands that. I think Sony understands that. Like, they realize that they would cut out a huge part of their market if they force you to do that. And maybe pre-Phil, this stuff wasn't necessarily as clear. Maybe the Don had different aspirations. Phil understands the value in giving people choice, moving forward, but giving people choice.
Right. Lord Madz, how fearful are you of the discless Xbox?
Oh, well, I have no.
Bring it on, right?
Okay,
So,
well,
tell me, but break it from your situation in Poland. Like, is this something that would appeal to Polish gamers?
Yeah, I guess so, because like a lot of people actually, well, for that kind of price, obviously that means more Xbox users in Poland, to be honest with you, right? And but here's the thing. I mean, like, it so makes sense for to do that for Microsoft, because like they have Xbox Game Pass, and for me, this discless Xbox is literally an Xbox Game Pass box. Well, at the end of the day, like, they are pushing those services and stuff, right? And there's all kinds of analysts talking about the fact that in a couple of years' time, will not be buying physical discs anywhere, right? Anyway, and the thing is that with this Xbox, it's an option, yes.
Mhm.
That's obviously true,
Mhm.
but it's okay. Well, a couple of months ago, I was of an opinion that Xbox One or OG Xbox and Xbox One S is going to pretty much die shortly after next Xbox launch, right?
Mhm.
But like looking at the situation right now and this this discless Xbox, I'm thinking that well, there's still a future actually for this like
Mhm.
underpowered box, but hey, there's still future. You know why? Because they will appeal to like people that don't have much money on
Mm.
like gaming, because not only I actually I would love to know how much this box is going to cost.
Yeah, that's
Like
a question.
if it's going to be like $150, that's not much,
Mhm.
right? So for $150 plus $10 a month for Xbox Game Pass. And
Mhm.
to be honest with you, if you clever about buying Xbox Game Pass, you can actually get it cheaper, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of deals for that
Mhm.
promotion and what have you, right?
Mhm.
So for $150, you are getting into an Xbox ecosystem.
Mhm.
You are getting a console
Mhm.
and obviously over 200 games, because I
Mm.
think right now Xbox
Yeah.
Game Pass actually offers over 200 titles,
Good point.
and you're actually getting a lot of first party games. Now obviously a lot of people will say, well, there's no games on Xbox anyway, right? But like, hey, like, you like it or not, like
Mhm.
Sea of Thieves was day one on Xbox Game Pass. State of
Mhm.
Decay 2 was day one on the Xbox Game Pass.
Mhm.
The Vermintide 2 was at day one on Xbox Game Pass, third party content. I think there was a couple of indie titles day one on Xbox Game Pass as well. On
Mhm.
top of that, Forza Horizon 4 day one on Xbox Game Pass, Crackdown 3 day one on Xbox Game Pass, Ori and the Will of the Wisps going to be day one on the Xbox Game
That's
Pass,
big.
so on. And the thing is, like, as we going to be getting closer to the next gen, and
Mhm.
as those new studios going to be obviously dropping their titles,
Mhm.
that kind of cheap box is going to be very appealing to like
Mhm.
let's face it, this box is not for me, right? It's
Right.
probably not even for you guys, right?
Mhm.
Because you've got Xbox One Access probably already, right?
Right.
This box does nothing to me, right?
Mhm.
But like for somebody who just wants to play a couple of games and not necessarily spend hundreds of bucks
Mhm.
on gaming, well, that's a brilliant idea. And like Poland, for example, right?
Mhm.
We still are developing country, right?
Mhm.
Like if you bring that kind of box for like 500 or 600 zlotys, which is
Mhm.
$150, so to
Mhm.
speak, right?
Mhm.
With 200 games for like 40 zlotys a month,
Mhm.
that's a brilliant deal, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another thing is that it actually made me think, because
Mhm.
um what's his name, Brad Sams or Sam
Yes, Brad
Brad?
Sams. Yep. Who
Yeah,
leaked the actual information? Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So obviously, so he leaked that, but a couple of months ago, he actually obviously talked about the fact that there's multiple Xbox Scarlet consoles
Skew.
in development,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and he was kind of like suggesting that one of these consoles may actually be a streaming box, right?
Yes.
So now the question
Mhm.
is this discless Xbox? Is this streaming box? Because
Ah, I
there's
see what
no
you're saying.
doubt in my mind that that you will be able to use xCloud on
Mhm.
any Xbox device, right?
Right.
Now the question is that this sort of cheap entry
Mm.
level console that will not only play Xbox Game Pass,
Mhm.
Xbox Game Pass games, but
Mhm.
like even moving forward into the next generation,
Mhm.
sure, this console is not powerful enough to run Xbox Scarlet games,
Right.
but you will be able to stream to this device.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good question because we did hear that, and I want to shout out Kid Smooth too. I forgot I was talking with him offline, and he actually told me this too, that he had heard rumblings that the Scarlet xCloud device would release before the traditional console Scarlet. And at the time, I'm like, really? Why would they do that? I didn't understand the logic. But now, as we're hearing these rumors, from Brad about a discless Xbox, maybe like Bonds is saying, maybe they are one and the same, right? And maybe in 2019 we do get the X Cloud device. And I just want to shout out what B Money said in the chat because he actually made some good points in the fact that as far as Microsoft trying to reach markets that they're generally not strong in, right? And when you bring that price point down, to whatever, $150, $200 with a discless Xbox, kind of thing. You having Game Pass in that. Now we're talking about also Scarlet X Cloud mobile devices. These are all markets that Microsoft generally wouldn't be able to penetrate with a traditional $400 to $500 box. So now, and this is where I see what King is saying with the genius of Phil. This is how you get and make your weaknesses into strength, and you start to permeate that. So this is very interesting to me. Like Mod said, this system specifically may not be for me because yes, I'm an Xbox One X owner. But the thing, like we always say for Addict, it's not about it's not about what it applies to me. It about the rest of the world. Even though something that may not necessarily appeal to me or have use for me, there's tons of gamers, tons and tons of gamers in markets, and like Mods is saying in Poland, where they see that price and they're like, oh, and 100 games or whatever, 200 games, and Xbox, Game Pass is only $1. And then you also throw the option that maybe we have the streaming option, on your 4G phone on top of that. Now you're hitting a whole demographic we're not even familiar with that could really help Microsoft in this whole, 2 billion gamers campaign thing. What do you think, King?
Listen, Microsoft is a global company. All right. And our vision is where we are.
Right.
All right. So we can only see, as far as our nose, we're not inside the boardrooms and we don't make the choices that go along with these companies. We like to believe we do, but we don't. But this system, like you said, it's not for me. It's not even. And you know what? It might be for me. It might be something that I purchase for my kid.
Right.
All right. As a parent, you start to look at a different way in spending money because you are purchasing. You're trying to get the value for your dollar for your children, right? And I was talking to the Lord Sovereign about the 2DS, the new one, and he said the price point he actually got it for $71 for his nephew. And I said that's a no-brainer. That is me definitely getting my son this.
That is stocking stuffer area, like what I mean, like that's territory that you can't even think twice about it.
What you said is stocking stuffer, right? But a couple of years ago, that was a major purchase. That was the actual box under the tree, right? So now to turn that box under the tree into something that is an impulse buy that was like, hey, I was walking past the store, I got that for you, type of thing. And for somebody else, that becomes the prize under the tree. They are taking the thought out of going into the store, and they're putting it into a value. Like you're perceiving, like Matt said, you're perceiving the value of the package opposed to exactly what you're getting. A lot of times, grandparents and stuff go inside stores and they see what's the best thing I can get to do for the least amount of money. And when that becomes that option, like B Money says, trying to get those 2 billion people, the people that are out of the box, that aren't the core gamers, we aren't the target. The target is those other people, the consumer, the other consumers. I believe it's going to reach them because the strategy involved, like Matt says, is genius.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is big. This is big, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out as far as is it one and the same with the Project X Cloud thing? Is Project X Cloud just something of a feature that of all devices going to be very interesting? Solve. I need to know if we can rapid fire. TGA.
I mean, we could definitely do that.
Because
we're skipping a whole hell of a lot, right?
Yeah, now we're not doing esports and all that.
Yeah,
that's just the major joints. Because Attic already hit me with his thing. I just want to get because I got his votes in,
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? So I already know what he won. I can tell you. And let's just rapid fire just the important stuff and
Okay.
just save game of the year for the last one. And let's just fly out of here after
Okay. So I'm going backwards. So I'm gonna start from best multiplayer game.
that.
Right? And the nominees are Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, and Sea of Thieves.
All right, I'm gonna jump in right quick. I'm going with my heart. My head says my heart says Destiny. It's probably not gonna win because this was multiplayer, best multiplayer.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going with my heart. Yeah, it's not gonna win, but I'm definitely this is Forsaken for me. Lord King.
Oh, Fortnite.
Okay, Lord Madz.
Are we talking about what I think or what I would
What do
like
you?
to see?
Yeah, just what do you think gonna win, or just what do you want to win?
Okay, all right. I think that Fortnite going to win.
I'm going with the crowd and Fortnite on this one.
Go for that.
I have never played Fortnite and probably never will, but I think it's gonna win.
All right.
I'm
So
right
for
there.
best
It's not
multi,
for me, but yeah.
hold on. I'm looking
Best
at Addict's
multiplayer game.
choices. He's got Fortnite. All right,
Okay.
continue.
All right. Next category is best sports/racing game. The nominees are FIFA 19, Forza Horizon 4, Mario Tennis Aces, NBA 2K19, and Pro Evolution Soccer 2019.
All right. I think Forza is just gonna smash this all the way.
Forza's
I'm going
destroying.
Forza Horizon 4, and I believe Addict also has Forza. So those are our votes.
Yep, I'm Forza as well. Although I mean that those FIFA games they have worldwide appeal, but Forza's my heart.
Absolutely.
Forza to me.
Forza
as well,
King.
Yeah.
FIFA.
Yeah, you see?
Oh, going against the grain.
It's
No,
not.
I'm
That's
trying
not
to
that.
win. I'm not trying to. All that stuff that you're sitting there, you're putting your heart into it. I know what I like. I'm just telling you what that's gonna win.
Crown your Lord last year.
Yeah.
I am the returning champion.
That's nice. You're gonna lose this year. Nice, Sony.
Let's
I'm trying to
go.
rattle teeth
All
like
right.
Phil.
Let's go.
Best strategy game: The Banner Saga 3,
Mm.
BattleTech,
Mm.
Frostpunk,
Mm.
Into the Breach, Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Okay. I'm going with my heart. I love Banner Saga. I think the series is fantastic. I'm going Banner Saga 3. And for Addict, I have his vote is he's going with BattleTech. So those are our two votes.
I have to go with Into the Breach.
Yeah, I'm with you on Into the Breach.
Into the Breach.
Let's go.
Into the Breach is gonna clean house here. They really are.
Into the Breach. I'm into the Breach.
All right.
Lord Madz.
I agree. Into the breach. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Are we doing best family game?
Yeah, I think I don't know if I have a vote for Addict on Family Game, so we might not be able to do it because we don't have his vote. It won't be fair.
Okay, so let's not do family game. Okay, next one. Best fighting game. All right. So the nominees are Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, Dragon Ball Fighters, Soul Calibur 6, and Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition.
I'm going with that Soul Calibur, baby. I'm going with that Soul Calibur 6. Addict's vote is Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
I agree. Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah,
Yep.
Dragon Ball. Yeah.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I don't like the way this is feeling. I feel like I'm losing.
All right, we move on to best RPG. Right. We have Dragon Quest 11: Echoes of an Elusive Age. We have Monster Hunter World, Nino Kuni 2: Revenant Kingdom, Octopath Traveler, and Pillars of Eternity 2: Deadfire.
Woo! Man, this is tough. I struggle because they have Hunter World in here. My heart says Octopath or Noonie, but I think Monster Hunter is gonna win this.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna pick Monster Hunter here. Addict has Pillars of Eternity.
Yep, I agree with Addict.
Gee, I don't like this.
No, I mean I don't think they'll win, but that game is just too good.
I will go with Octopath Traveler.
I'm gonna go with Nino.
Okay. What else we got?
Alrighty, next category: best action adventure game.
Mm.
We have AC Odyssey,
Whew.
God of War,
Mm.
Marvel Spider-Man,
Mm.
Red Dead Redemption 2,
Mm.
and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Damn, this
Yo, this is tough. All right.
I mean, this is easy.
Oh, so
It's
go ahead, Mods. Go ahead, Mods. This is easy. Let me hear Mods vote.
Red Dead Redemption, I guess.
Woo!
Yeah.
Best action. Okay, okay.
I got yeah.
All right.
I would like. I usually like to give other games their shine in other categories, but it's got to be Red Dead for me.
Awesome. You got Red Dead. I'm gonna go against the grain. I feel that Red Dead is gonna scoop up in so many other categories. This is tough, man, because you got God of War in here. Assassin's Creed Combat. I don't know if I'm gonna give it Assassin's Creed on combat. So basically, it comes down to me, not dissing Red Dead, but it comes down to me between Spidey and God of War. And I think you kind of got to give it to God of War on combat, like action, adventure, combining combat with. Oh, but they say with traversal, and Spider-Man got traversal and puzzles. But this is tough.
The
Man.
Spider-Man traversals. I mean, that just
All right.
wins.
I'm gonna
Period.
keep it a buck. I think this is the only category Spider-Man has a shot at winning. I know King gonna be mad with me, but I think I'm gonna go with Spidey on this one.
Yeah.
This is where I think Spidey comes through. At Addict, he has Assassin's Creed. Yes.
All right, so things get blurry after that because
I
next
got
one
God
is
of War.
God of War for King. Okay, so next one is just best action game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it says for the best game in the action genre focused on combat. All right. So the nominees are Call of Duty Black Ops 4,
Mm-hmm.
Dead Cells, Destiny 2 Forsaken,
Oh, let's go.
Far Cry 5,
Mm.
Mega Man 11.
Okay. Action. Tough. Oh man, this is tough. We got Dead Cells in there. That's a tough one. You know my heart is that Destiny. I think this is the only shot Destiny got of winning any award because Fortnite is not in there. Because once Fortnite's in the building, you're not winning. So this is the one I'm going my heart, but I actually think they got a shot at. So I'm going with Destiny. Addict for action. Oh, Addict's going with Destiny also. So he's got so me and him on Destiny. What about the rest of you lords?
Somehow I feel like Black Ops 4 has a chance.
Yeah, it's a good game, man. Playing blackout mode. Yeah, it's a good game. Sovereign King.
Dead Cells for me.
Yeah.
I'm going with Black Ops.
You traitor!
Listen, I'm not talking about what I like.
He tried to take a page. He tried to take a page of what I did last year.
He's not about those knees. He's not
about that knee. You got to crown your lord.
Listen. I'm going with the populace. Hello.
This one's interesting. Best VR AR game.
Oh, I got this.
I gotta see if Addict voted on that.
He didn't.
You know he don't like VR, so I don't think he voted on that. Yeah, he didn't. So we got to skip that one.
You want to skip it, or you just want to?
Because we gotta have a consensus.
Yeah, we have group.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he vote on best mobile game?
Nope.
No, you know Addict ain't about that.
Next one, best independent game.
Yes, nope. He voted on that.
Okay, great. So the nominees for best indie game are Celeste. Oh, that's my heart. Dead Cells. Oh, that's my heart. Into the Breach. Oh, that's my heart. Return of the Obra Dinn. I've heard a lot about this game the last couple of months, and I haven't touched it. I have no idea what it is. And of course, The Messenger. That is also my heart.
Whoa, man, this is tough. This is tough. Wait, hold on. You said best indie. How come? Oh, I'm looking at best debut indie. Where's best indie? Hold on. Give me them choices one more time for the best regular indie.
Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger.
Okay, I look at it. Ice Cook. Okay, man, this is tough. Celeste is probably gonna win.
Yep.
Because it's in the Game of the Year category, I believe, and it's not gonna win Game of the Year. But even though it's a great mention, my heart is The Messenger, but The Messenger is not gonna win. As much as I love that game, it's not gonna win. Damn, Dead Cells is tough though. That's a good one too. Into the Breach. I've heard good things. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this is Celeste winning. I'm gonna play logic now. I think Celeste is gonna take this one. Surprisingly, Addict has my game. He has The Messenger. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that because he was giving me so much crap when we had PAX and I was covering it. What do you guys got? What do the rest of the Lords got?
I got Celeste.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
Celeste. Yeah.
All right.
Yo, Dizzy said
Everyone
Cog
plays
writes
safe.
in, "This is the police too." Yeah, that's my write-in ballot, man. That's right.
All right. Did he vote on Games for Impact?
I believe he did. Hold on, let me see. Games for Impact. Yes, he
He
did.
did.
Mhm.
Okay. I haven't played a lot of these, but okay. 1111 Memories Retold.
Mhm.
Celeste.
Mm,
Florence.
mm,
Life is Strange 2, Episode
mm,
1.
mm.
And the last game is The Missing, J.J. Macfield and the Island of Memories.
Woo, a lot of these games I have not played.
Me neither.
So this is gonna be tough. I'm just gonna go with my bias pick based on history,
Hmm.
which is, and I've heard good things about the new one, which is Life is Strange. So I'm gonna go with Life is Strange 2. Don't not they always dock it out with the feels. I'm going this. Addict has Life is Strange 2 as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. All right. What the rest of those
I
got?
have Celeste again. That story
Mm-hmm.
is kind of amazing for such a small, tiny little game. It's great.
Yeah,
So,
I can see that.
Yeah, Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
Life is strange, sir. I'll take that.
All right. What we got?
alrighty. So, best performance. You
Mm-hmm.
vote
He
on
has.
that?
Yep. Yes, he
He
did.
did. Okay. Brian Deschart as Connor in Detroit Become Human.
Wow.
Android. He did
Uh,
his thing. He did his thing.
Christopher Judge as Kratos, God of War.
Oh, he won.
Boy.
Melisandre Mahout as Cassandra, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Woo!
She should have been the only character in that game.
Yo, dude, shot fired. I heard that too. Yeah.
Wow.
Roger
Mhm.
Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2. And Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Marvel's Spider-Man.
Ah.
This is what. First of all, everybody could win this.
Really?
Everybody could win this. Like this is, man, this is just the most competitive, probably in my opinion. All right, let's see. Let's do process of elimination. I love Detroit, but my man ain't gonna win. They're not gonna give it to him. Now here's where it get interesting. Yuri did his thing in Peter Parker, but I don't. I think it comes down to the final three. I think God of War, dude. You know how he get down, but then he kind of limited with his boys. So I don't know. I'm gonna probably go between Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan. Now I heard amazing things about Cassandra in Assassin's Creed. It's down to these two. The popular pick is definitely Arthur Morgan. There's no doubt. If Assassin's Creed is gonna win anything, I think this is the shot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Cassandra. I'm gonna go with Homegirl. I think Red Dead's gonna do its thing.
And remember, it's not only voice acting, it's the motion and performance capture as well. So when you talk about Kratos, like there was a lot of emotional, quiet moments.
Yeah, he was just buoying it up, and
Right.
yeah, like I can't give him performance on that. Arthur Morgan could win this. Like, it's no doubt.
Yeah.
Like Arthur Morgan's one of the best characters. It's tough. I might regret this. It's probably gonna be Arthur Morgan, but I'm gonna go with Cassandra because again, from everything I've seen and from people I trust on that game, they said her performance is outstanding. I saw some stuff from Addict when I was watching that I was like, yeah. So I'm going there. Addict has Red Dead. He has Arthur Morgan. That's his choice.
I have
What do
Arthur
you-
Morgan as well. Yeah,
Okay.
Arthur Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll go with Red Dead as well.
Boy.
Yeah,
Boy.
boy. Okay, Red Dead.
Right.
Okay, what we got?
Boy. I'm going with God of War. Boy.
You know, Arthur Morgan probably says "boy" a lot more than Kratos does.
Yeah.
All right. So, did he do best audio design?
Best audio. I believe I saw it. Yes, he did.
He did. Oh, great, beautiful.
Mhm.
Okay. So the nominees are.
God, y'all dragging out my daughter's birthday, man.
I'm sorry, man. We covered. This is it. This is the last.
It is Alaska.
We the last category.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4,
Mm-hmm.
Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right. First off, the fact that there ain't no Destiny in here is sacrilegious. I'm tired of Destiny getting disrespected on audio. Every game awards. I am sick of this crap. But I gotta vote on what's left. Damn, I'm surprised Forza is in here on audio. Hmm. I think I might have to go with Red Dead here. Their use of
Mhm.
audio. I think Red Dead's use of audio is really amazing. I can't remember anything
It
spectacular in God of War.
it's just yeah. Red Dead is just the nature sounds, the way the music
Yeah,
swells and goes down, like
yeah.
everything
I
is kind of
think
nuts.
surprisingly, Red Dead's gonna win this. I got
Yep.
Red Dead on audio, and it looks like Addict has Red Dead as well.
Okay. Me too. Red Dead.
hmm
Same
Mads
here.
King
Same here. Read that.
I'm
King.
going with Spider-Man because the crowd downstairs, they be like, Spider-Man, oh my God, can I take a picture with you? Oh, city sounds, oh no, Spider-Man. If Spider-Man gonna win anything, here it is.
So
Continue.
so did he do best score?
Yes, he did.
Okay. So best score:
hmm
Celeste,
Mm,
God of War,
mm,
Marvel Spider-Man,
mm,
Nino Kuni 2,
mm,
Octopath Traveler,
Ah,
Red Dead
mm.
Redemption 2.
Man, this is tough. Oh,
musical score. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna take the lead on the Nina Cooney.
man.
Yep.
Cooney. I'm going
That's
with Nina Cooney.
I'm going with
that
Nino Kuni.
that joint is fire.
It
I
is.
didn't
It
play
is kind of
Nino.
ridiculous.
I didn't play Nino yet. Damn.
Yeah, that's my advantage over you right
oh man. Celeste got some good music though.
Yeah,
Yes, it
go with
does.
that. Go with Celeste.
Celeste got
Go with
some
that.
good music, fam. Octopath. I don't remember anything outstanding from like playing out. It was okay. And more
Octavarium.
Spidey. I'm gonna go with Celeste. I'm gonna go with Celeste here. Just only I would have picked Nuno. I just didn't play it, so I can't honestly pick somebody to play. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Celeste. Looks like Addict went with Celeste also.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mods.
Mods.
Nina Kuni.
Oh,
There you go.
My man.
okay.
That's
All
it.
right. All right,
All
let's go.
right.
Speed through.
Best art direction. All right. And that
Um.
is for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
Mm-hmm.
So the nominees are AC Odyssey,
Mm-hmm.
God of War,
Mm-hmm.
Octopath Traveler, Red Dead 2,
mm-hmm.
Return of the Obra Dinn.
Art direction. That's technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
Hmm.
Whew. Man, this is tough. I think it's got to go down to the heavyweights, man. I think it's got to go down to the God of War and the Red Dead and artistic. I got to read that category one time. Creative and technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Animation in God of War is pretty tough, man.
Yeah.
Pretty tight. Um, this is tough, man. This is really a pick 'em. It's really what you view as beautiful art.
Right.
I might, damn, I might go with God of War only because it read the animations are slow.
They're slow, but they're realistic in a way that no one else does.
yeah, I know. Because I
But
just
God,
can't.
but God of War is more flashy and stuff. So.
Yeah.
God of War is more popping. Like it's a more
Mm.
poppy kind of a game. So I'm gonna go God of War here, but I can see this going in. Addict has Assassin's Creed, by the way.
Okay. I have read that. I think the hardest thing to do is mimic reality.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
I'll go with God of War.
Jay Fonz
Yeah.
is a savage. Just a big hint. Pick Red Dead Redemption for easy wins.
God of War.
All
Oh
right.
my god. Good to
God of
Boy.
War. God of
God
War
of
for
War.
King.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next category, best narrative.
Mm,
And that goes. Let me see. We have Detroit Become Human. We
mm,
have God of War. We
mhm,
have Life is Strange episode 2. Life is Strange 2 episode 1. Sorry.
mhm.
Marvel Spider Man. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh,
Damn it.
damn it, man. Now I feel sad for Detroit because technically this is the category it should be winning. but yeah, man.
Nobody talking about no Detroit.
It's gonna come down to Red Dead on this, bro. I think it's gonna have to because Red Dead's just doing such
Too
a
much.
mature. It's just doing too much. It's a mature level story. Yeah. I might have to go with Red Dead on this. Surprisingly, Attic has Detroit. I'm shocked.
Wow.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
I'm going with Red Dead. I'm nowhere near finishing that game, but I heard amazing things about the ending. So generally, that speaks for
Yeah, I
itself.
gotta go with Red Dead here.
Uh,
hmm
um, So
I'll go with Red Dead as well.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
down with Matt's Red Dead, baby.
All right, all right.
Did he do game direction?
I don't see it. I don't see it. No, yes, he did.
He did.
Yes, he did.
Okay. All
Damn
right.
you, addict. Man,
He's
the day
the
that
best
you
game
are supposed to
direction.
just pick small stuff, this
He
guy
gotta
gonna
bother
look
you.
for
We gotta
full
bother
gamut.
you even when he's
Yeah.
not here.
All right. Best game direction. A Way Out. King's gonna have a chuckle about that one. A Way Out.
I wouldn't know. Never finished it. I don't know the direction
Saul
it
took a
went.
way out and finishing it.
Yeah.
Detroit Become Human.
Mhm.
God of War. Marvel Spider-Man and Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right. Tough. Game direction. What does that mean though? What are they saying? They're saying
It said awarded to a game studio for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Damn
innovation in
it.
game
That
design.
has to be Red Dead. I'm down with Red Dead.
Yes, probably gonna be Red Dead here. I'm gonna vote with my heart though, because I'm a Detroit sucker, and I think Detroit got to win something, but I probably not. But yeah, I'm going Detroit here. Addict's going with what's up?
Yeah, what's that going with?
Addict's going with A Way Out.
I agree.
Ooh.
Agree. It's something. A Way Out is just unique. It's just very unique.
I wouldn't know. I didn't finish.
I'll go with Detroit Become Human.
Ooh, that's right, man. Give me one vote.
All right. Best
Yeah.
ongoing game. Did he do
King,
that?
King voted.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
did.
Red
What
Dead.
vote? Oh, Red
Red
Dead.
Dead.
Okay,
Yeah, Red Dead.
Oh, King trying to win. He ain't playing politics.
Best, best ongoing game.
Yep,
What
he
about
got that too. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so the nominees: Destiny 2, Forsaken,
Mm.
Fortnite,
Oh shit.
No Man's
We can just mail this one in.
Yeah, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six Siege.
All right.
No.
I can't go. My heart
Fortnite.
says Forsaken is not winning. Fortnite's winning this in the landslide. It's not even close. I feel Addict though. He's got Siege.
Siege
And Siege should win. Siege is the game that should win, but Fortnite's gonna win. But I think I see where he's going. Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. Fortnite is gonna win.
Mhm.
Sadly. But.
Sadly. Mhm.
And okay, are we missing anybody on this one?
Matt, did you vote?
No, I said Fortnite.
Okay, cool.
He said, I ain't missed.
Okay, King Fortnite. Okay, final category, Game of the Year. The nominees are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste. I like Celeste being there.
That's dope.
God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World. I'm feeling to be there too, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's go. You know my vote.
Listen, right now you think I'm gonna put up Spidey? I'm gonna vote with my heart. I lost last year by voting with my heart, and I'm gonna vote with what everybody gave me the most flack that I've got on Twitter, like the most hate.
Go for it, King.
God of War, boy. I'm going with the boy for the win.
With the boy?
For the win.
For the win. You're going with the boy for the win. It's not a bad choice, man. I would just say off top, sorry, Celeste not winning this. Spidey not winning this. Monster Hunter World not winning. It's just down to the heavyweights. It's just a heavyweight battle right now. It's gonna be Red Dead. Red Dead just came through like a whirlwind, man. It just came through like a whirlwind. And
with Red Dead, I'm voting with my heart, but I think it could be God of War just because with Red Dead, people have overall more negative things to say about it than God of War. I think it could be God of War, but I'm still voting with my heart, Red Dead.
I just didn't think it would sneak through the back door and just generate. I thought it would be too late in the cycle that God of War had it dominated, but that's just me. Addict has. Oh my God! Addict has Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, he was talking about that.
Riding, baby.
I love that about him. I love that. That's why he don't win.
Yeah, he doesn't want to win,
and he go with Addict's World. Yay!
Mods, what do you have?
Yeah, Red Dead.
All right, so that's it, man. Let's get out of here. Poll and get out of here. All right, man. With the recent announcement of Sony not attending nor holding an off-site press conference during E3, is this a mistake by Sony to skip on gaming's largest event of the year? The choices are A, yes, Sony skipping E3 is a promotional misstep and breeds arrogance. B, No, E3 is overrated, and Sony can gear up for PS5 as the market leader. Or C, I don't care. Ghost of Tsushima Flute Man is the real loser here. That is the question. Those are the choices. Please back to ILP vote when it goes up. Lord Madz Gaming, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm of the Lords. Great perspective from overseas. We learned a lot, especially how you got those systems. That was quite humorous. Where can the people find you, and what do you have going on? Is he still existing?
Oh, his mic is muted.
His mic is muted. His mic is muted. He's so excited. He muted his mic. Bonds, can you hear us? Well, maybe Bonds will come back at some point. Anyway, Lord Solve, where can the find you?
Well, they can find me under a palm tree this coming week, chilling out. But you can find me on Twitter, LordSovILP, and PSN, Xbox Live. BX Sovereign. Guys, have a great Thanksgiving with your family, friends, and so they have a lot of food, play a lot of games, and be safe. Lord Madz, thank you for coming through. It's always great to get perspectives on gamers from around the world because everybody's experience is so different, and it's just amazing that we always come back to the same thing, though. We always circle back to the same thing, and that's fantastic. So thank you so much for being here.
No doubt. Oh, Lord Madz is back, man. Like, absolute pleasure to have you in the room, man. Where can the people find you? What do you have going on, sir?
Well, YouTube, obviously, Madz Gaming. So check that on YouTube. I mean, I mostly focus on more technical side of things, obviously. So if you into specs and 4K gaming, well, check my channel out.
Next Gen Madz. Let's go.
Next Gen Madz, yeah. So and then obviously on Twitter. So that's at MDWoods _TW, I believe.
Nice.
If my memory serves me right. So thank you very much for inviting me, for the invite.
Absolute pleasure.
I had a blast, honestly. You know, I love your podcast and stuff, and your humor and the way you handle gaming. I love it. So thanks for having me.
Means a lot. I definitely have you back in the future as well. A pleasure. Lord Madz was in the realm, the Lord of Poland in Next Generation Gaming. But yeah, man. So Lord King, where can the people find you?
First and foremost, shout out to the Polish Pusha T. The fact that, gaming all over the world, and I love that whole thought about it, that he was going to shady people to get games just like we were doing in New York.
Addiction is...
Yes, it's crazy. It's
to do some things, man.
It's universal. Everybody's experiences, and that goes to show you again. And I'm gonna keep saying it every time we have a new guest from a different place, and they're doing the same thing that you're doing. You're not different than the person next to you. You have the same love affair, and it's this gaming thing that keeps us bonded and tied to each other. So the infighting about what system is better is stupid. Because it boils down to gaming. All right. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, the Facebook community. I'm in there retweeting most of Cognito's busy business. And we're posting pictures, and you're gonna catch me at medieval times. Oh, you can catch me with like Microsoft gearing up for E3.
Oh my God!
But you Sony dudes, I'm gonna have y'all sit in the corner and watch us play, watch us dance.
Lord Cognito here, man. Absolute pleasure that Lord Madz came through, and Lord Alec, you were definitely missed, so we can hopefully get him back in the realm next Sunday.
Not really. It was a lit show.
Oh my God!
There were hardly any interruptions, man.
I'm not gonna do that to Lord Alec today. Salute to Alec, man. You definitely missed by me.
Love you, Alec.
Love to miss you.
Thank you for coming through. You already know the audio is going to be up later. Please hit that like and subscribe to all the outlets. You know the audio from Kaibatsu shall be coming. Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play. The links will be in the description. All that helps us out big time. Shout out to Lord Sonaldo and the stream team. We got a review coming up. And also our guy, Lord Potentially Perfect. She'll be having an article dropping soon. And I can't say any website names just yet because Dizzy's going to kill me. So we got some things cooking, man. We got some things all popping, and we definitely appreciate the support. Also, our young blood, Lord MJ, got things cooking as well. Please make sure you still sign up for ILP Smash Brothers giveaway and that ILP Patreon. We got a lot of giveaway things to give out to you guys, but Sov cannot do it unless you grease his palms and get in the Patreon.
That's right. Let's go.
Exactly. Flashpoint number 40 with my man Ebontis is up. This was a banger. Y'all. We got the legendary Rick Cactus HD. He was in the building. We had a special time on Saturday talking everything about Bungie fighting back against Activision. All the latest with the Black Armory DLC. Please check that out. That is already up on the ILP YouTube channel. And I know King's got combat talk cooking. I see Errol Spence and some people talking, so I know he's counting down the havoc. I was hyped when I saw whatever B Money was showing me. So yeah, I know that's covered. If anybody's got anything else, good. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. We out of here. Peace.